Ladies and gentlemen, you can see this matchup exclusively on pay-per-view from Atlanta's Omni on Monday night, December the 28th. We encourage you to call your local cable company and order this pay-per-view spectacular. We're joined now by Sting, and after striking Big Van Vader with a 2x4, seeing that it had very little effect on him, Sting, have you had any second thoughts?
Well, Rossi, I know better than anybody else at World Championship Wrestling just how big and bad Big Van Vader is. This is the guy that ends wrestling careers, but I don't have time to think about that right now because with that match and defending my Battle Bowl title the night of Starrcade, I'll be ready for the fight of my life, and don't you forget it.
It's certainly obvious that Sting is fully aware that this is the biggest challenge of his career. And it will happen on Monday night, December the 28th, exclusively on pay-per-view from the Omni in Atlanta. We're being joined now by Big Van Vader. And Vader, I've got to ask you a very simple question. Just how important is it to you to win the King of Cable Championship?
Well, Mr. Jim Ross, Vader has more world championships than any wrestler alive or dead. And yes, I would like to add this to my collection. But more importantly, I want to hurt Sting. I want to end Sting's career. I want to inflict all the pain I can on Sting.
What a matchup it's going to be.
Yo, this is Slammer, and you're listening to Primo, DV, and AJ at the Sit Down Marks. And what you gonna do when Slammer Mania runs wild on you, brother?
Ladies and gentlemen, the following Sit Down Marks podcast is set for one fall. Introducing first, your heel host that is always helping to spread the good word of wrestling, Dirty Bird. Next up, the co-host from the land of the rattlesnake, editor and producer, Primo. And finally, your co-host, straight out of your mama's kitchen, driver of the grip wagon, straight off a cliff, assistant editor and producer, AJ.
What is up out there in Mark's land? It is episode number 69 of the Sit Down Marks podcast.
Nice.
69.
Yeah, right. We made it. Episode number 60. Does 69 still mean like what it used to mean?
I mean, it
doesn't.
does it
stop meaning
stop?
that?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I was just
in my world,
asking.
it does.
I might have been out, anyway, moving on.
It's two letters, a 6 and a 9. Okay.
Listen to old man Dirty over there.
And Primo said letters.
Oh man, that made me sound real intelligent.
We are all idiots today.
Welcome everybody to the best kept secret in wrestling podcast. Thank you, TW Ward, of course, the voice of Memphis Wrestling. You ready to talk a little wrestling today, boys?
Yeah, I'm ready to talk a little bit of wrestling today. There's a bunch of wrestling I want to talk about, actually.
Just a little bit. Just one or two wrestlings.
Those two guys right there, my co-host. One, formerly from your mama's kitchen, formerly the waitress crippler, currently the one and only AJ. Welcome, sir. How you doing today?
Did I move out of your mama's kitchen? Did I have to vacate the premises?
I mean, you didn't have to, but I just said formally because formally I used to say it, but now TW Ward says it for me. So, so I didn't know if he was still there. So.
I got nervous for a second. I thought I was going to have to be kitchenless.
You didn't know you got evicted.
No,
that's between you and your mama.
Not my mom, your mama. Your mother.
And the 3-time Kurt Angle Trophy champion, Primo. What's going on, my brother?
Hello. Episode 69. Here we are.
Nice.
Ready to talk some wrestling.
Let's do it. First of all, let's let old Big Brief bring us in here.
It's the Beefster here, and I'm telling you, you better turn into the Sit Down Marks podcast with AJ, Dirty Bird, and if you don't, Beef's gonna have to hit you with that beefy bomb. Tune in, folks. They won't disappoint you.
The old briefy bomb, right?
The briefy bomb.
Hit you with that old. It's a very quick bomb.
It's
like bloop, bloop.
It's very brief.
Very brief.
Very
yes.
brief. It's
Very
the
short.
briefy bomb.
The briefy bomb.
Oh my God, it's going to be one of those kind of pods. It's going to be tripping all over our tongues the whole time here. So thank everybody that's sticking with us though and listening on all those podcast platforms. You know which one they are, or if it's Friday, SportzWire Online Radio must be where it's at. We are usually on right before the Thomas Bryce show and about 3 or 4 times throughout the week. Check us out on SportzWire Online Radio. If you want to check us out, man, check us out on any of those platforms, or please, we'd ask that you leave us a review on whatever platform you listen from. We really appreciate it. All that good stuff here. So let's get to let's kick off this pod here, Primo. Let's see what the old jukebox has today, my dude.
Well, my dude.
Oh,
Jukity box, let's hear it, baby.
Hey, y'all. Can somebody call my mama? It's about to get funky up in here. Know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Somebody call my mama. Somebody call my mama.
Somebody
That's right.
Somebody call my mama.
Somebody call
What?
AJ's mama because she kicked him out of the kitchen.
Man,
Not my
I was gonna
mama.
say, a lot of mama talk early here.
Yeah, well, she's kicking people out
We
of
got
kitchens
to call the
and-
mamas.
So the Funkadactyls, Naomi and Cameron, Naomi,
Cameron and
Shawn Michaels, Cameron the Janetti.
Yes. Very, very good.
I would say I like what was Brodus Clay? He wasn't Sweet Tea. That was Lord Tensai. Oh fuck! But he was the Funkasaurus.
Yeah.
But I liked Xavier Woods' iteration better with the Funkadactyls.
Xavier Woods does everything better than everyone.
Oh, I agree.
100% of the time. And I'll have words with anyone who disagrees with me. I won't.
Words, people.
Briefy bomb.
He's one of the 3 people I would invite to Thanksgiving.
Xavier Woods?
Yeah,
I would invite Xavier Woods to Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I'd invite him. We had this talk around Thanksgiving.
I would too, but he wouldn't be my top 3.
No, he'd be in my 3. It was him. I think I said him, Stone Cold, and AJ Styles.
Okay.
I'd play video games and have intellectual conversations with Xavier.
Sure, yeah, he would be a heck of a gamer, man. It would be fun to play games with. AJ, what's happening? Any history this day, sir?
Not very much. That's it. Moving on.
That's fair.
So I did find a couple of things. Well, first, insert Dirty Bird's old joke here. There's nothing going on anywhere before 1980, but in 1980, on this day, which is June 22nd, the NWA World Tag Team Championship.
1980.
Oh,
Acknowledge.
The NWA World there we go, Tag Team Championship changed hands when Jimmy Snuka and Ray Stevens defeated Ricky Steamboat and Jay Youngblood in Greensboro, North Carolina. I only wanted to mention this because Jimmy Snuka should never have any belts ever because he's a bad person. Allegedly. We're going to skip to 1996 at ECW Hardcore Heaven, where Sabu defeated Rob Van Dam in the main event.
RVD.
This was notable because a very young Chris Jericho pinned. It always makes you laugh. Pitbull number 2.
Oh,
here we go again.
Pitbull number 2.
He always finds his way into your stories.
Well, what's worse is Pitbull number 2 had a belt in this match. He was the ECW World Television Champion. And so Chris Jericho took the ECW World Television Champion off of Pitbull number fucking 2. Like, fuck off, Pitbull.
Right, so
where's Pitbull number 1?
Let's talk about this.
I
know where Pitbull number 3 is. The singer, the
Mr.
guy,
305,
yeah,
Mr. Worldwide.
He's number 3 then. So we know that. So he's going to be number.
He's still current.
I hate both of you for bringing up
Pitbull.
Yes. Mr. Worldwide.
Mr.
No one
Worldwide.
cares, Pitbull.
Yeah.
All of your songs sound the same. Shut the fuck up.
He's number 3, so we just gotta find who number 1 was.
He's making money making those same sounding songs.
I know, and I hate his guts. I also want to mention that's basically it for this day in wrestling history. There's nothing. Tomorrow and the next day, there's all kinds of stuff. Also, one of my favorites of all time was born today. I'm going to bring back one quick birthday. John Tenta, otherwise known as Earthquake, otherwise known as the Shark in WCW, was born today in a long time ago. I don't even know when he was born. But yeah, he's one of my all-time favorites. I love Earthquake so much. Wonderful. Whenever I go and watch wrestling, like retro wrestling, I love it when Earthquake makes an appearance. He's so good. So happy birthday, John Tenta, even though you're dead, but still happy birthday.
Yeah.
Remembered him.
He's your favorite person.
A lot.
My birthday's not until next month.
No, it is. It's next month. And then we'll say happy birthday to you.
Let's talk headlines, man. I think we have a lot to talk about here.
Oh boy.
Hey, yeah. So let's go wrestling in the headlines. Let's get the sad news out of the way first. The wrestling world is saddened by the passing of both Dave Hebner and Tim White. Both of these men were referees in various promotions and very well known. They both passed within this last week.
Yeah, it's crazy. We lost 2 referees, in pretty
short amount of time, yeah.
Short amount of time, yeah. And pretty prominent referees too. Yeah. It's all these guys, or both these guys involved in huge matches, I think it's probably safe to say in referee land, Hebner is like to referee what McMahon is to wrestling. You know what I mean? All the Hebners that have been involved in refereeing. So, that was pretty sad to see. And I especially remember Tim White a lot. It was sad to see both of those. Big loss there in the wrestling world for sure.
Did you know that he suffered a severe shoulder injury once? Tim White did during a Hell in a Cell match between Chris Jericho and Triple H in 2002.
Yeah, I remember. Now that you say that, I remember kind of something like that happening. He got hurt in a spot or something like that, didn't he? Yeah.
All right, moving on. So via Sean Ross Sapp on Twitter, AEW's Forbidden Door will be broadcast in select theaters. So all you marks out there in Marky Mark land, go check your local listings for more information around your town. See if Forbidden Door will be broadcasting at your local theater.
I have to admit, I did look around to see if Forbidden Door was playing around here anywhere, and I think the closest one is like an hour and a half away, which I'm debating on driving.
What town?
To go
what
see
town?
It was Joliet, I want to say.
Yeah. Well, you drive an hour and a half, wait as much gas as you might as well pay for it and watch it at home.
True. Very true. But I have no but for that.
I love a good theater experience, though.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, it would be fun to be in there with a bunch of wrestling fans. That would be fun.
That's something I've never ever done.
But it could it could be awesome. It could be meh, and it could suck.
That's something I'll say. I've
never there a bunch of assholes.
I've never watched like a UFC fight or a big wrestling pay-per-view at like a big gathering, like a Buffalo Wild Wings or any sports bar, or in a movie theater. Like that's something I should do one of these days, just to get
you
that.
You call
energy.
Yourself a wrestling fan?
Well, I've been to the event, live in person.
Sure.
I've never done that, while eating wings or something at a restaurant.
Right. You didn't bring your belt and put it on the table.
Yet.
Now he will.
Yeah, that's right. We're right here, baby. I'll slap this sucker on the table.
Nice.
My son told me I'm a champion.
I am so excited. The reason I would think about driving an hour and a half to sit in a theater with a bunch of smelly marks is because I don't know the last time I was this excited for a pay-per-view. I'm so psyched for this pay-per-view coming up. I'll talk about that more.
I am too, but I mean, if it was closer than an hour and a half, maybe like 30 minutes, I would drive. But otherwise, yeah.
I'll tell you my excitement meter.
This is a must watch, I think. This is a must watch.
It's a must watch for sure. But we'll go through the card later on. Then I'll reevaluate my excitement meter.
Word.
Mm-hmm.
So next up, we got. Speaking of Forbidden Door.
What the fuck?
Did it just open behind you?
Did
the Forbidden Door just
I was
open
watching
behind you?
Doctor Strange recently, and all the portals just opened. Oh man, that's $10, Disney. So Fight.tv is offering AEW Plus subscribers 20% off Forbidden Door. So it might actually be worth staying home and paying on Fight TV. If you've already purchased your the pay-per-view via Fight TV, you'll receive 4 bonus credits to your account.
Ooh, everybody likes bonus credits.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
man.
Yes.
I used my bonus credits from Audible.com, but that's $10 Audible.com. By the way, our podcast can be found on Audible.com.
Yes,
But I used my 2 free monthly credits to get John Moxley's book, even though I want to hear him to read it now.
Narrated by the man himself.
How's that experience, by the way?
Oh, I love it.
Is it fun listening to him?
Yeah, it's like so. I've already read it.
Sure.
So I know kind of what's going on already, but it's almost a whole different experience listening to him talk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got some
I think I'm going to get
coming
it
up,
too.
So, yeah. So I'm gonna have to check it out. Like I can get down with that listening to him.
Fightful reported earlier this week that People Power John Laurinaitis was placed on administrative leave and has been replaced by Bruce Pritchard as an interim head of talent relations.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
I do too. I'm not a big fan of Mr. Laurinaitis.
Well, yeah. And that's obviously interim is the key word there, so we'll see if that becomes permanent or short-lived. Next up, via Ric Flair's Twitter. He says, my last match, which is his last match. It's called, like that's what he's calling it, my last match. Press conference is being held tomorrow, which is June 23rd. It'll be live on Fight TV, his Twitter, and on the To Be the Man pod at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Excuse me.
No, you're
so
good.
if that's something you're into, then go listen to Ric Flair talk about the last time he's going to have a match.
I don't know if I want that to happen.
Next up, go ahead.
So it's like he's of course he's my favorite all time, and I want to support him. But is this a money grab? Is this because he does really want one more match?
Did he just get divorced again or something?
He's taking bumps. Yeah.
The man has a pacemaker. He should not be taking any bump whatsoever.
Right. Yeah. You know what I mean. So he's just I know it's probably hard to let go. He wants to wrestle one more time.
Would you want to do a chop to someone who has a pacemaker in their chest?
I would move to the other side and chop him.
just chop him on the back.
Chop him on the side of the head. Yeah.
What do you think about that? Like that's been an ongoing theme, over the past 20 years or so. Well, no, I wouldn't say 20 years. Longer than that. It's been going on forever. So-called retirement matches, for instance, Shawn and Ric Flair.
Sure.
WrestleMania, 24, 20? I don't even remember when that was.
Which is the best retirement match in history.
And then he went on to have these dreadful matches in TNA. And
oh, my God.
It's just like...
horrendous.
I mean, and don't get me wrong, he's not the only one. Mick Foley did the same thing.
Fucking
at this point...
Terry Funk did it like 50 times.
Right.
At this point, we should just look at it as a match stipulation. Just look at it as a headline of a match.
Yeah.
Don't take it seriously.
This is your retirement match from WWE.
Right. Or for now, this time.
Yeah, for now.
During this feud.
Like when Triple H ended Mick Foley's career, but he came back and, wrestled against Randy Orton.
Oh, boy.
All right, and up next, via WrestlingNews.co, Rhea Ripley is apparently dealing with a brain injury.
Yeah, explain this? This horrified me.
That's all I got. So,
a brain injury.
That does suck, though.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
I was gonna say that's all I've seen. It just said brain injury.
And I didn't get any further details on that other than brain injury, which is terrible.
So, are they immediately going to disband Judgment Day? Because
Unfortunately, I feel like now, obviously, in real life, we hope Rhea Ripley gets better. Like, that's the number one priority. But as a talking wrestling, yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? And number one, also too, I just seen that Damian Priest and Finn Balor were fighting two people, I don't remember who they were, on main event.
that's where I love to see my boy Finn on the fucking C show.
So I don't see this Judgment Day stuff going on for, like, it's just basically like what's going. Now they're a tag team.
I think what would probably be smart right now is do a Finn versus Edge feud.
Yes,
and let 100%. Damian kind of be in the corner of Finn throughout this.
Yes,
and then
pull Paul Heyman and switch on him in the last second.
And then that'll kind of take the the idea of the thought of Rhea not being there, and then when she comes back, then they'll be strong once again. Obviously, Finn has to go over in this feud.
Yeah,
we'll talk more about Judgment Day when we talk about Raw.
Oh boy, yeah.
But, so on top of Rhea Ripley's brain injury, aside from her, and obviously we do hope she gets well.
Mm-hmm.
There are also a ton of AEW injuries right now.
Yeah, a lot.
Like I didn't even write them all down, but there's a bunch of them out there. Like it's just
the injury bugs going around.
It's stinky.
Stinky.
Hit us with a couple, 4 or 5. Who's hurt?
Potentially Dan O'Brien.
Brian Danielson,
correct?
Boom.
That was a test. It really was. There's a bunch. Bunny.
Not Bunny.
Potentially Matt Hardy.
Yeah, Matt Hardy.
Yep. Top Flight.
Darius Martin.
Again. Yeah, he's hurt again.
Lee Johnson. Like, what in the world, dude?
Darby's one match away from a injured list every time he goes out.
He's always one match away. Well, for death, really. He's one match away from death.
And apparently Adam Cole also. Like, apparently Adam Cole's, like, recovering, but he hasn't wrestled in a little bit now since the Owen Hart thing, right?
Adam Cole, baby.
So maybe that's...
He's still there making appearances.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's just kind of there just every time Hangman comes out, and he's like, where do you get off? Every time Hangman comes out.
There it is.
Basically, there's a shitload of AEW injuries is the point here.
Yes, there are. It makes me sad.
Good thing they got a huge roster.
Oh my God. Right. That's another thing that makes me sad.
And last was something I saw right before we went live here, is Fightful has reported that Foley's baby boy, Dewey Foley, has departed from the WWE.
Dewey Foley? I forgot that he was even in.
He was a writer, wasn't
he? Yeah, something like that, yeah.
I forgot about it.
Oh, boy.
Weird.
Foley's baby boy is left.
Yeah, Mrs. Foley's baby boy.
Left the building.
All right. So, that is this day in Wrestling Headlines.
Thank you, sir. All right, AJ, let's see what you got for us this week in his lovely little segment. Let's see what you got.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
AJ's dumb thing. What's it going to be this time? Broadway play? AJ's ravioli of the week? Monster truck? What about socks? Yeah, socks. How about that, asshole? AJ's socks of the week.
Hell yeah, I'm a big socks guy.
You know what?
I like to wear socks.
You know what, robot asshole guy? Fine. We'll do AJ's socks of the week. How about that, assholes? Little Roddy Piper socks, you fuckers.
Yeah, it really does have Roddy Piper socks. I thought it was a work. It's not a work.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at his big beefy arms on them socks.
Oh my god! And
I
more
wanted-
impressive, you're standing on a swivel chair.
Oh
He's
my
got the
god!
hot rod socks on.
I'm wearing the hot rod socks, and I'm wearing the hot rod socks. That was my Roddy Piper
That was
impression.
pretty good. I figured out what it was.
Pretty good. So yeah, I ordered these socks. So because I was looking for stupid things to have, and so I ordered these. And honestly, look, it even like I can't do this. I'm gonna die. Well, look, it even has the little look like no one's. It's an audio podcast. It even has like the little thing that Scotsmen wear in front of their kilts.
Oh, the little
level of detail on these socks. He's wearing a watch on his socks or on his arm. Why would they include
People
that
from
detail?
Scotland are murdering us right now.
Yeah, but you know.
But you remember, Roddy Piper's from the entire country of Scotland.
Yeah, he's from Scotland, like just Scotland.
Yeah,
and
those are dope, though.
Yeah,
you know, I fucking love them. I'm not gonna lie, I've worn them every night since I got them, and
wow,
just every now and then I'm like, hey, hot rod.
I'm surprised they're still white.
I'll tell you this though, are they comfortable though? Most gimmick socks that I buy and wear are usually not comfortable. They're like
no, they are decidedly not.
They normally
comfortable.
are not, but
No.
you know,
they're like made out of like fiberglass and steel wool.
Yeah, so
At
they're
least that's
itchy.
what it feels
I
like.
got all
Make you
kinds of gimmick
split
socks.
sweat.
Okay,
Do you have Roddy Piper socks?
These are fucking peanut socks.
Woodstock.
They also,
but I have a bunch of them anyway. But they're all super thin, you know.
the same company had Ultimate Warrior socks, which I was gonna also order.
You got to run everywhere in those.
Yeah, I know. I don't have that energy. They also had Hulk Hogan socks, which I kind of want to send a pair to Chris Slammer.
Right.
I couldn't bear to purchase anything with Hulk Hogan's fucking likeness on it, though. So I went with Roddy Piper, and these are my new. If anyone invites me to a wedding, these will be the socks that I have on at said wedding. Just so you know.
Makes sense why Titan Man said socks of the week. So
yeah, what an asshole that guy is. Jesus
so
Christ.
Laura and Joe's wedding, you're wearing Roddy Piper socks.
Yes, I am. You're goddamn fucking right, I am.
It'd be even better if you wore them up to your knees and wore like a kilt with it, so you could see them.
Well, what's gonna be great is I'm in that wedding, and so I'm gonna get like flood pants, and
nice.
so to show.
It's just gonna be
off
hot
my,
rod staring.
Yes, to show off my hot rod socks like the entire time.
You got to have the pouch thing too hanging down.
Sorry, Joe and Laura, but you're getting Roddy Piper socks.
This is their warning. You're telling them ahead of time.
Very good.
I am.
They have a chance to rebuttal.
I'm actually standing on Laura's side too.
I
So.
love the socks. Love the that your segment is vouching off into the retail merchandise area of clothing, and it's not just we've evolved from movie clips and
Robot Man is a dick though, so if he could tone down the
I'm excited for next week's ravioli though.
Ravioli of the week.
Next week's Broadway play.
All right, it's time to talk about what we're going to talk about. AJ and I get ready to head to Cape Championship Wrestling this weekend.
Yes.
So CCW superstar Chris Slammer joins us to talk about the huge card this weekend, his career as a UPS driver, and he's got some fun stories to tell about that, so stick around for that later. Also, Promo School returns once again. We got the Doctor of Thugonomics bringing us one, so John Cena, you know who it is, he's holding class this week, and then obviously our weekly reactions, including Impact Wrestling Slammiversary that Primo is going to kick us off with coming up here very, very shortly. But lastly, I want to tell you we're going to review Sting versus Vader from Starrcade 1992, the famous Wrestle Bowl craziness that was pay-per-view. We'll be talking about that later. So let's get it kicked off here, Primo. Let's have some fun, guys.
This is Levi Cooper.
Hey, this is Buck Nasty, Bucky Collins.
This is Big Beef.
What's up, bozos? This is Trevor Outlaw, and you're listening.
And
you're listening to the Sit Down Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast with DB, Primo, and AJ.
All right, before we talk about CCW, reminder, Iron Spirit Pro in Bloomington, Illinois is we're all set for a big summer show Saturday, July 16th. If you're in the area, come check us out. But let's talk about this weekend, AJ. We're about to hit the road, man, on Saturday to CCW Super Show in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Spoiler alert, well, not really, but Chris Slammer told us that this is their WrestleMania. This is their big show of the year.
This is their big event, and I am fucking psyched to drive.
They said they always bring a big guest in, and this year's big guest is Killer Cross with Scarlett Bordeaux. So pumped about that, and he's doing a big meet and greet. F&M Memorabilia is bringing them in, and he's also going to be on the card, or they both together are going to be on the card, I'm assuming. So this is going to be our second time going out there, and they're expecting a real big crowd, man. I think it's going to be a fun day out there.
I can't wait. It's like a 4-hour drive for us?
Yep. Yeah, it's 4 hours pretty much straight west.
It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. Get on the road a little bit, go out and see, because it's been a while since we've seen some live wrestling. So I can't wait. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm ready to go too, man. I'm excited. Our buddy Dylan, this is his home promotion, so he's going to be there. So we're going to be seeing Dylan too, man. So we're pumped about that. And I mean, a lot of big matches are happening. We got I think it's their champion, trending Trent Daniels is wrestling Cheeseburger, and the old Cheeseburger from the old ROH television champion. You know, he was had a lot of success there, so he's going to be there as well. And they got a lot of big matches, so I'm looking forward to that card. Now the show is at 6 p.m. Central Time. They're opening doors at 4 because they're expecting a big crowd, and they want to give everybody plenty of time to get in there. So it's a really cool arena. I'm expecting a really fun day out there. So thanks again to CCW, and we'll see everybody out there this Saturday.
Hell yes.
Let's do it. All right, Primo, if you want to get us kicked off, man, let's talk about Impact Wrestling first this week, so we can talk about that and get to that Slammiversary card.
All right, so Impact, we'll go through this real quick. First, the cool things that happened were, number one, we had the reunion of the Aces and Eights with Wes Briscoe, Garrett Bischoff, and D'Lo Brown, baby.
Yeah, how about D'Lo coming back, huh?
Dude, D'Lo.
With the best on, too.
The number one, I've always liked the lowdown, his finisher. Mm-hmm. He can deliver that thing, and he did on Impact, and it was really cool to see. So, yeah, with the vest.
yeah, the most limber neck in wrestling.
That's
ever.
Right. He has a very nimble neck.
God, man, that thing. I mean, it was amazing the way he could throw that thing around.
You're messing with the real deal now. So,
right.
Nick Aldis joined the Impact Originals for the Slammiversary match versus Honor No More.
Nice addition.
As he was formerly known as, of course, back in the day, TNA, probably 11, 12, 13 time frame. He was Magnus.
Yeah. Who's his wife?
Who is his wife? You'd like
Hardcore Country.
Mrs. Mickey James.
Mickey James. Very nice.
And Josh Alexander and Eric Young had their contract signing, which, of course, contract signings never go to plan. And other than that, Impact was mostly a bunch of build-up, backstage interviews and video vignettes because Slammiversary was 2 days away.
Yep, it was. A lot of build-up.
So, let's get to that then, shall we? Some Impact Slammiversary, the 20th edition. I have a bunch of notes here. Excuse me. We're at the Nashville Fairgrounds at the Asylum in Tennessee there. The pre-show had Rich Swann retaining the Impact Digital Media Championship against the most professional wrestler Brian Myers. Pre-show also included the Reverse Battle Royale, which was won by Shark Boy, which, by the way, don't get me to try to explain the rules of the Reverse Battle Royale because still don't know. But yeah, the reverse battle royale is extremely confusing, and yeah, I've never understood it, and I think I've heard that they asked wrestlers before, and they even the wrestlers weren't sure what was going on.
So it's essentially, right, everyone fights to get in the ring.
In the ring.
It's so dumb. And like, it's one of my favorite gimmick matches because obviously you go up and you just jump in the ring. Like, and you're in the match. But people will like stand around like outside looking for someone to hit as opposed to just like jumping in the ring. Like, it's
yeah, they're like, they can't just race in the ring.
No, it is kayfabe destroying this stipulation.
Right. And yeah, I agree. It's a silly one. It's
Yes.
like they like doing things in reverse, kind of like the King of the Mountain or the Queen of the Mountain match.
A little bit, yeah. That's okay. Sure, Vince Russo.
So that brings us to the main card, which we opened up with the Ultimate X match for the X Division Championship. It's usually what Ultimate X matches do. So Speedball Mike Bailey defeated Ace Austin, Trey Miguel, Kenny King, Alex Zane, and Andrew Everett to become your new X Division champion. Speedball Mike Bailey has kind of had he's been grinding lately. He's been everywhere.
Bit of a run. Unexpected. I like him too.
He's on a roll right now, for sure. Next up, we had Motor City Machine Guns voted the most impactful team in Impact history.
I agree, because they're amazing.
I definitely agree with that too.
Yeah, fantastic
After that,
team.
we had the Icon Sting. He sent a message congratulating Impact on their 20 years.
That was pretty cool.
Next up, you had the Knockouts Tag Team Championship, in which Rosemary and Ty Valkyrie defeated Tennille Dashwood and Madison Rain to become your new Knockouts Tag Team Champions.
You know, I'm not picking very well in this particular show.
I just think that's such an odd pairing.
It really is. I certainly didn't think they're going to be tag team champs. It seems out of nowhere.
Right.
Fucking weird.
Right. Yeah. A little weird.
Right after this, we had another congratulatory message sent by none other than Kurt Angle.
Awesome.
Yep. Pretty cool. I liked all of these. Next up, after that, you had the Monsters Ball match between Sami Callihan, in which he defeated Moose. Which we knew Sami was going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although Monster Ball matches without Abyss still weird me out a little bit.
I do agree,
really do.
but Monsters Ball matches are among my favorite TNA gimmicks.
I do love the Monster
They
Ball
aren't
matches.
authentic unless Abyss is in it.
Yeah, no, it just doesn't count.
I like those, and I like the Lethal Lockdown matches. Those are cool.
Yeah.
I was reading about Sami Callihan too. You remember that time when Moose picked him up and he had him like sideways and he kind of slammed him on the apron of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Sammy said later on after that match that he goes, when I fell to the ground, he goes, I like felt my spine rattle when he did that. He's like, it was like, it just felt gross. He's like,
sounds gross.
Yeah, it sounds gross too. Yeah, I was like, ugh, made me hurt right
how
there.
that's supposed to be.
Yeah. But I'm glad he's back.
Well.
Next up, after the Monsters Ball match, you had the Impact Tag Championship, in which the Good Brothers defeated the Briscoes to become your new champs. But what was cool was not only did the Good Brothers win and become your new tag team champions, but afterwards, a classic TNA tag team came out, none other than America's Most Wanted.
Yeah, we called that one, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah, so Wildcat Chris Harris was already there. Yeah, that was dope.
Sorry about your damn
luck.
Chris Harris looks not the best.
I feel like that's okay. I'm saying he may not be in ring shape, but I'm saying maybe that's why they just toasted the beers.
Yeah,
America's Most Wanted didn't attack them or nothing.
Yeah.
They weren't showing they were there to go on a run or nothing. They're just kind of
he got dad bod like me.
He didn't want to take any bumps.
Right. I mean, he's in there with the Good Brothers and Jay Briscoe and his brother, the meteorologist.
Yeah, the meteorologist.
Oh, those are the funniest. If you haven't seen them, they're so funny. Impact afterwards, this was really cool. Impact after that match, they honored Mike Tenay and Don West as one of the best commentary duos. Excuse me, Mike Tenay and Don West is a tag team.
Tag team, yeah. Going on a run.
Right.
Filthy old fucker Mike Tenay taking bumps.
Mike Tenay. Oh man! After that, Dixie Carter revealed the final partner for the Impact Originals was none other than Davey Richards.
Davey Richards,
formerly one half of the American Wolves.
Yeah.
Which is even crazier. Side. Exactly. That's what I was getting to. Is the other half is on Honor No More.
Yep.
Good storyline.
So we had.
I was just gonna say it was a nice touch with Dixie.
Good touch, very good touch.
As well, yeah.
That's for the fans.
Sure, I liked it.
Yeah, we appreciated it.
You know, where we're like, oh, that's a thing. That's a thing. They were, you know.
I remember when they did that stuff.
Exactly.
Yep.
So, speaking of that match, we had the Impact Originals: Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley, Frankie Kazarian, Nick Aldis, and Davey Richards defeating Honor No More. And during this match, actually, this is a cool moment. Remember earlier we said Dave Hebner had passed away? Well, this was after the fact. And during this match, referee Brian Hebner was knocked down, and Earl Hebner came down to make the count for the victory.
Yeah, the old twin magic Hebners.
Yeah, that was a good touch.
You know what this match needed? Christopher Daniels.
Fallen Angel?
Mm-hmm.
This pay-per-view needed
sense because of Kazarian.
Mm-hmm.
This pay-per-view needed him.
But if you want to talk about Fortune 4, then you got to talk about the next segment in which AJ Styles sent a message reminiscing about his time with TNA.
How cool was that? Like, he obviously wasn't there.
Oh, yeah.
In person, but
cut on his head.
How
I just finished a match.
How fucking cool was it that one, WWE let him do that, and two, that he got to say something to
super cool.
The TNA.
It was
awesome.
Super cool, and that he got to acknowledge like everything that existed.
Mm-hmm.
That he did, and that he was there with Samoa Joe and Christopher Daniels, Kazarian, the works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like this too. That it's WWE saying, "Hey, we acknowledge that you did wrestle other places before us. It's not like we,
That is what made me an AJ Styles fan. That's where I discovered him.
Sure.
I also think it might have a lot to do with the fact that it might have just slipped through the cracks at WWE since they have so much other shit currently going on.
I thought that at first, and then I got to thinking about it. And in this message that he gave, he thanked WWE for allowing him the time to do this.
Weird.
So I was like, you think they made him say that? Like, we'll let you do it, but you have to say we let you.
Yeah, we allowed you to do it. Yeah, I can see that.
So, next up, Queen of the Mountain match, which is the first ever Queen of the Mountain. We usually have the King of the Mountain, which if you don't know, there's a cage. I'm not sure, I forget the rules about the cage, but there's also the belt. You, instead of taking it off the rung, you got to put the belt on the rung up the ladder.
So dumb.
Like the reverse battle royal we talked about earlier.
In order to win this belt, I have to give away.
This was my favorite match of the pay-per-view.
This actually was the best match of the pay-per-view.
It was, by far.
So you actually have to grab the belt you're winning and go put it up on the thing. So anyway, the Queen of the Mountain match, the first time they've done it with the TNA Impact knockouts, excuse me. Jordan Grace, who I called to win, wins the title, defeating Tasha Steelz, Deonna Purrazzo, Chelsea Green, and Mia Yim.
Yeah, it was a good call.
Yeah. I just had a feeling she's been on a roll just like Mike Bailey. He's been on a roll.
Chelsea and Deanna's big bump was nice.
Yeah, it was.
On the ladder when it fell over. Yeah. But this was awesome, man. Honestly, I was in awe of this whole match because these girls fucking they laid it on the line, man. They went at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went at it, man. This was a great match. I totally enjoyed it. This is the best women's match I've seen in a long time, honestly.
It should have been like obviously hindsight, but it would have been really cool if this match, as good as it was the main event, because it was really, really good.
I was cool with any of those girls winning it, honestly, especially after I seen it go for a while. I was like, whoa. But yeah, I loved it.
Speaking of female competitors, after this, Gail Kim was moted. She was moted.
She was moted.
Forgive me, Gail Kim. Gail Kim was voted most impactful knockout in Impact history, which I gotta agree with that. Gail Kim yeah. Gail Kim is obviously, was she first ever Knockouts champion?
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, she's just, she carried that division for a long time.
She carried women's wrestling for a long time. The only reason women's wrestling is what it is because of Gail Kim, in my opinion.
She's great.
Yes.
Yeah, she's one of those pillar type women. Pillars,
Yeah. After that, we had the main event, which was the Impact World Championship. Josh Alexander, of course, we knew he was going to defeat Eric Young to retain the title, but it was still a good match. That was your main event. Like I said, like AJ mentioned, actually, I wouldn't have minded the Queen of the Mountain match being the main, but it was the co-main. So beggars can't be choosers. This was.
Oh yes, we can.
We knew the outcome of this match. We didn't know the income.
That's the best argument for that.
The outcome of the Queen of the Mountain. Man, words are not our strong suit tonight, people.
I don't know why I just did that.
Yeah, but that was Slammiversary as a whole. I gotta say, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the callbacks. Speaking of the callbacks, in the Impact World Championship match, Josh Alexander and Eric Young did a bunch of finishers from previous years. I think they did Black Hole Slam. There's a bunch of them that I can't think of right off the top of my head. Yeah, but they were doing a bunch of callbacks to old TNA.
Did they do the Styles Clash?
Yes. Josh Alexander did.
Clash.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was cool.
So that was pretty neat. And
this was a very good pay-per-view. I love this, man. This was good.
Yeah. I'm very nostalgic in that way too. So.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Great wrestling mixed with nostalgia. That's a nice pay-per-view for me. I love it. Mm-hmm. I know they can't do it all the time, and it was Slammiversary, so and I love the old people coming back, but this was great, man. I love this pay-per-view.
Me too. It was fantastic.
It was wild to see, and I was just thinking about it, to see AJ Styles in that capacity. He's been in WWE for 6 years now. It's and obviously he's already made a Hall of Fame career in WWE.
Absolutely.
So, but people, I hope no one forgets, what he did in Ring of Honor and TNA before he ever even got there.
Sure.
So, but it's also wild too, because last time we saw AJ Styles in TNA, he didn't have the soccer mom hair yet. He still had he was just growing out the long hair.
Yeah.
He was doing the lone wolf gimmick, and he was in New Japan and doing all that jazz, and he was with the Bullet Club and stuff. So, man, there's just a whole era there, late 2010s, late 2000s, early 2010s that just I miss because I didn't enjoy it enough. I feel like that's a common theme in wrestling or in general, entertainment in general, is we might bitch about it a lot, but there's a bunch of good shit going on right now that we don't pay attention to until 5 years later. And they were man, I wish I would have paid more attention to that.
Right. Yeah.
Even think about that era in Impact. There was all that awesomeness, but then there was the absolute nonsense too. Do you guys remember whenever they had electrified cage matches?
Yeah.
And anytime anyone would touch him, it'd be
yeah.
They had nonsense like that all the time.
That's up
too.
there with the Harley Race stun gun.
Yes, but they had at the same time they had world class caliber.
Oh, their performers were top notch.
Yeah, it's amazing. I miss it.
So, that was Slammiversary and Impact as a whole. For me, like I said, I enjoyed that pay-per-view. Next, moving on to NWA Power. Tyrus, the cool thing, I'm actually going to talk about this segment last. We'll move on to these other two things first. Nick Aldis, this is on the heels of Always Ready, by the way. Nick Aldis says that Trevor Murdoch knows where to find him if he wants to beat him, become real champion. Which, by the way, he did actually pin Nick Aldis.
Yeah.
To become the champion, but national treasure.
Whatever.
So Camille and Kylan King's feud seems to be far from over. As she says, Kylan King says, the King says she will be the next and one to end Camille's reign. And then the main segment I did want to talk about was Tyrus opened up the show with an interview and discussed Mim's injury from Always Ready. He said
is on a roll.
So he's saying that he defended the title 7 times so he could catch the title in if he wanted to. So if you guys don't know this, or if the marks out there in Sit Down Markland don't know this, NWA has a Lucky 7 rule. It was made a few years ago where if the TV champion defends successfully 7 times, it's kind of like that wild card rule where they can actually cash it in for a world title match.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, I remember that. It's just nothing that ever really jumps out at me. Starks, I remember when he was in the TV champ, he was pretty close to it, or he got it, or something like that, or
Yeah,
I remember he was one of the first ones to do it, but also too, want to say real quick, I don't think anybody's taking the belt off of Camille for a while. They're going to.
She's had it for a year.
Her. Yeah. I think they'll keep rolling with her. She's going to be, probably like a big signing or somebody, to take that belt off of her.
She's got to go on the honeymoon.
Yeah, it's true.
I think they've already been.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah.
Let me call up Tom Latimer.
Yeah.
So, anyway, as he said, so he says he could cash the title in if he wanted to, but he teases that he could carry 2 titles at once. So he wouldn't cash it in, he would just go and win the other one. He noted that he doesn't have to follow the Lucky 7. He also calls Scion, who, if you don't recall, he turned heel, Adrian Adonis' so-called son. He calls him a great tag team partner and says they're going to make a statement. He also says he's running out of mountains to climb. And in the main event, Tyrus and Scion defeated the Ill-Begotten, which is Jeremiah Plunkett and Alex Taylor. So, they could be chasing tag team gold. They could be, Tyrus could be trying to go after that main event championship. It seems like there's a bunch of, coals in the fire there. We'll see.
Yeah. It looked very directional for a little while since I've been, back on board watching again. And then it was like once Cardona got hurt, now it's like everything's scrambled all of a sudden. Yeah, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like they're trying to find somebody to put the belt on, maybe give a push to, yada, yada. So it's a little all across the board. Like, I don't know. I kind of thought they'd go the safe route and put it back on Aldis because he was there and available. But
Murdoch was the most recent champion, right?
Yeah. I'm not mad at that either.
Yeah. So he's a 2-time now. And, dude, how does Tyrus have time for all this? Because he's also on Fox Business News and all that.
I forgot about that.
Like, I've never seen anybody else but him in a tracksuit and a backwards ball cap on Fox Business.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it's funny.
It's hilarious to me every time I see it. I just it's the Fuckosaurus on Fox Business.
Good stuff.
Somebody call his mama.
That's right. But that's all I got for NWA Power and Impact.
AJ, you're up, man. Let's get to Dynamite and Rampage so we can talk about Forbidden Door.
So
got that big card on Sunday.
So I'm going to fly through Dynamite and Rampage right now, even though this Dynamite was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I got a few things to talk about it on too.
Okay, so first up, I want to talk about the Chris Jericho versus Ortiz hair versus hair match.
Yep.
Couple of things. Chris Jericho gets the win, which is whatever. It was ruined, but then saved again. So Fuego del Sol appeared out of nowhere, and he hit Ortiz with a bat. So that's what gave Jericho the win. And then, he takes off his mask and it's fucking Sammy Guevara. Whatever, dude.
Sure.
Whatever. I hate Sammy Guevara.
Reunited.
Which is fine. Like, it's fine. The moment that I really did like is how Ortiz grabbed the clippers himself and cut his own hair. I was like, yeah, that's a fucking badass right there. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
You don't let the other douchebag do it. You get it and you do it yourself.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So in this setup, a rematch between the two factions for Blood and Guts, which is fine. I'm okay with that. Up next, I loved this too. Wardlow versus the Plaintiffs.
Yes.
Which was 20 security guards.
Sure.
Quotation marks.
Quotation marks are also St. Louis independent Midwest wrestlers.
Okay, so did you also pause it to see if you recognized anyone? Because I did too.
Yeah.
And I couldn't recognize anyone, which bothered me a little bit. Like I was hoping to see Dan
the Dad was one. Soup Campbell.
So wait, Soup Campbell was in there? I didn't even see him.
There. Yeah, Mike Outlaw, Camaro Jackson was one of them.
Nice.
Yeah. I think Moses from Technical Difficulties that wrestles in Iron Spirit Pro, he was one of them.
See, I thought that I saw him, but I wasn't sure if it was him.
Yeah. And that was the ones that I wrote down. But yes, that was incredible. I loved it.
Awesome.
I was like, look at these guys bumping for Wardlow.
I know, and it was great. And obviously, Wardlow goes through all of them.
Absolutely.
And he's very eloquent when he speaks. But it was just so much fun. It
was a great spot, I thought.
Yeah. Up next we have Dax Harwood versus Will Ospreay.
This was fun.
I loved this match. By the way,
Yes.
2 members of the of Glue Factory Wrestling. Just want to point that out. This match was fantastic. These two were phenomenal. Obviously, they have a history. I love Will Ospreay and AEW. I hope he sticks around longer than Forbidden Door. I have a feeling he maybe not, but while he's there, I'm going to enjoy the shit out of it, which I will. I love his what's his finishing elbow called? I can't remember it now.
I can't remember it either.
The slap shot. No. The slice. Slice arm.
The hidden blade.
What is it, Primo?
The hidden blade.
Hidden blade. Yes, there we go.
Blade.
Why didn't you say that earlier instead of?
I said it 5 times, but you kept saying slice arm.
Bueller.
So you're right. Slice arm.
Slice blade. Secret blade. No, hidden blade. It was awesome. Go watch it. I love this match. Up next, we have Jon Moxley meets Tanahashi, which is great. Moxley is a badass. Get on board, everyone. And after all this, we had All Atlantic Tournament match between Miro and Ethan Page. Match was great. Miro moves on.
It was. Yep.
I
agree.
So now I'm going to move on to the main event, which was the Young Bucks versus Jurassic Express for the AEW tag titles. I loved the outcome, but I don't understand why you put it back on the Young Bucks. It made no sense to me. I mean, I get you need to put it on a heel team because, FTR is just going to take them and take the belts anyways.
Yeah, that's why I think for that.
Yeah, that's got to be it, right?
Yeah, that's why I think it's for that feud.
So,
looking back, weren't they originally going to put on the Hardys?
Yeah. That was
before the whole shindig went down.
Yeah.
Because the Bucks, Bucks Hardys they barely got going,
so before they had to stop.
Yeah.
The match was fine. Bucks get the win, which sure.
Yeah.
And then the awesomeness. Who do we have back? We have a little heel turn. Christian Cage.
About damn time.
I know. God, I love this so much when it happened.
Yeah, I liked it too.
They teased it for way too long.
Yes, something I meant to talk about every week, and I forgot every fucking week, was every time Jurassic Express would have a match with other people in their corner as well, and say for instance, I remember specifically it happened with Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy was like, "It's okay, Jungle Boy, it's okay." Christian was like, "Get off my boy."
Yeah.
He was super protective over Jungle Boy. I was like, he is gonna fuck him up one time, eventually.
And he did. Turns heel on Jurassic Express. It was awesome. I loved it so much.
Yells at his mom and sister.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Captain Charisma makes a return. It was fucking awesome.
For all the peeps.
Good stuff.
You guys got anything for Road Rager here?
The last thing I wanted to say about Dynamite was Tony Storm beat Britt Baker.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a big win for Tony Storm.
That was a huge win. Yeah, huge win.
That was unexpected.
Yeah, well, it kind of was too. So that was nice. But that was all I got till we get to Rampage.
So Rampage, see, I didn't have a whole lot for Rampage because a whole lot didn't happen. We do have, Dante Martin versus Jon Moxley. The match was fantastic. It was clearly Jon Moxley putting the young guy through the ringers. Like, just being like, all right, this is, like, you're an up-and-comer, so I'm going to beat the fuck out of you, and you're going to try and beat the fuck out of me, and that's going to be the match. And it was great. It really was. Dante Martin's always fun to watch. Moxley did get the win, obviously. But it did a lot for Dante Martin. Like, I think he's going to stop looking good in defeat pretty soon here, and I think they're going to start pushing him. So I think this was like I think they were seriously got together, and Moxley was like, all right, I'm going to beat the fuck out of you, and you have to go with it. And Dante Martin was like, yeah, okay. And he delivered. So it was really cool. I liked it.
Yep. Almost like wrestling initiation.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. And establishing him as can take the punishment, bounce back, babyface shit,
And it really worked in that regard. The match was fine. It was fine, but it really, really worked. So up next is something that happened that I don't even know because it's a thing that I refuse to acknowledge. So Willow Nightingale. I want to talk about Willow Nightingale for a second. What do you guys think of her?
Cool. I think she's got a great entrance music theme when she comes in. I think it's fun, and I don't know. I'm not a fan of hers yet, so to speak, or
I like her.
or not yet. I don't know.
I like. Last time I really saw her, paid attention to her, was I seen her on Ring of Honor Supercard, and I also saw her. She made an appearance on Impact when Deonna Purrazzo was doing the Open Challenge.
Yeah, I've seen her on the Indies.
I could not get Tamina out of my head when she was wrestling. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake! And the crowd seemed to like her, which, whatever.
She has more charisma than Tamina.
Yeah, everyone.
Oh, by far.
My Roddy Piper socks have more charisma than Tamina. So it was cool. Whatever, and then a bunch of people came in. Stokely Hathaway, who's awesome. There.
Yeah.
Chris Statlander. I love Chris Statlander. Made an appearance, so it was good. And then main event, Darby Allin versus Bobby Fish was just a cool match. Like, it was fine. Like you said earlier, Darby Allin is always one match away from being injured for the rest of his life.
But, man, let me tell you, though, I love watching him dive through the ropes at 100 miles an hour. That is fucking fun to watch. I'm sorry. Thank you for doing that, Darby. But, it's amazing to watch, man. It's like, ah!
Yeah, he's so good at, his whole gimmick, the Daredevil doesn't care. And he pulls it off wonderfully. I think it's fantastic. But I worry every time that he has a match because fucking Jesus Christ. And of course, Sting. Sting is awesome.
And that was a quicker return for Sting than I thought. Man, he wasn't gone very long, was he?
No, it was not. I mean, I don't think he'll be back in any sense of the word yet.
Yeah,
but,
right.
But yeah, love Sting, so that was awesome. So quick, short Rampage, and both of these shows did an excellent job of setting up Forbidden Door, which is this Sunday.
Yeah. I got a couple things here real quick I wanted to say. So, if you guys notice, Swerve and Keith Lee already got beef. They're already, questioning each other, so they might be breaking up soon. Yeah. Is Penta El Escuro, is he is he like this Mexican warlord? Is this like what he's doing? Like,
I kind of think that that's what they're going for.
Yeah,
but I didn't know.
It's like a little bit of a gimmick change. Like he's not talking as much. He's being a little more silent, and it almost looks like they're kind of like worshiping him a little bit, like kind of like Aleister Black a little bit as the leader too. So, but last thing though, AJ.
Yeah, there's something I didn't mention.
Bear Country and Leon Ruff.
Roughing it.
Is that not the 6-man tag team or match that you need in your life, dude?
Yeah, but it was ruined by the fucking Gun Club and Max goddamn Caster. I was so angry.
It was, and I was like,
listen,
I want this tag right here so bad. Man,
I did too.
I want to see that again, though.
I was so excited, and then out comes the fucking Gun Club, and yo, listen.
Which is always good.
No, it's always awful, and I hate it. Also, I completely didn't mention, even though this was fucking amazing, Jay White. Jay White is
motherfucker and baddest in the world right now.
Fucking
the catalyst of professional wrestling,
and it's still my era.
That's right.
It's amazing.
Era.
It's a bad man.
All right. Speaking of era, let's talk Forbidden Door, baby.
Yes. Oh my God, I am so fucking excited for this pay-per-view.
Fucking this card, man. I'm like, man. Once again, man. Like, had this card been on Saturday night, I'd be there. But man, Sunday I couldn't pull. So I'm excited to watch this one though. Sunday night though.
So what I think, here's my prediction for this pay-per-view. Like, it already appeals to the hardcore wrestling fans, you know, the three of us basically. But I think it's going to make casual wrestling fans into more hardcore wrestling fans, like into more like, holy shit, I love New Japan kind of fans.
Yeah.
And I hope it does, because this is going to be amazing. So up first we have Jon Moxley versus Tanahashi, for the interim AEW heavyweight title. What do you guys think?
I'd love to see Tanahashi win it, but no way they're going that route. They're putting the belt back on Moxley.
Primo?
Oh, 100% I agree with Dirty. Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah.
It's going to be a hell of a match.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I am going to say, no, it's going to be Moxley. Like, they're going to put it back on Moxley, which is great. You know, it's an interim title, so whatever. Jay White versus TBA for the IWGP World Heavyweight title.
Okay. So by the time this comes out, we'll already know who it was.
We'll know, yeah. Who do you guys think it's going to be?
I think it's going to be somebody from New Japan.
You think it's going to be a straight New Japan match?
He's from New Japan.
Yeah, I know. Like, is that like is that the rule? They got to do
they got to be crossover matches, right?
Oh, they also do. Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought he'd probably wrestle somebody from over there since he just won the belt.
See, initially,
and I don't know. That's
so. Bryan Danielson is on Dynamite tonight, and he's supposed to be addressing like his injury and how he's not going to be able to, make blah blah blah. So
Jay White interrupts. There you go.
So I think it might be Bryan Danielson, and if it is Bryan Danielson versus Jay White, okay. That'll be okay, I suppose.
Dope.
Wrestling boner just
Primo, you know who it's going to be?
I know that it's not Bryan Danielson.
Boo!
Do you know who it is actually?
No, but I know the Bryan Danielson situation.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Is he out for a while?
You just want me to say it?
Yeah. Well, you're watching spoilers. Everybody else will know by now anyway.
Yeah. So basically, all that I know is what I just read was that the latest match that was announced because Bryan Danielson came out and announced that he's not medically cleared for Forbidden Door or Blood and Goats. This is live as of right now. But he didn't provide a recovery timeline, but he announced that Forbidden Door match is Zack Sabre Jr. versus an opponent of his choosing. Bryan Danielson's choosing.
Okay. Well, that'll be cool. So that'll make who fights Jay White? The Zack Sabre Jr. versus whoever.
No. That's irrelevant to that.
No, that's two separate matches. I don't know. How about Ricky Starks?
The Jay White thing will be revealed later, apparently.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. That'd be done with that.
Yeah, that'd be Ricky Starks versus Jay White, or
I
Ricky
would like
Starks
that.
versus
Yeah.
Zack Sabre Jr.
No, Jay White.
Okay, that would be a good match.
Yeah,
I would be okay with that.
Okay.
But obviously Jay White's going to win whoever it is against. Up next, we have Will Ospreay versus Orange Cassidy for the IWGP United States title.
This is
I hope Will Ospreay just
demolishes
Orange
him,
Cassidy's
right?
face.
Yeah,
like in every way. Like I hope it's a 7-minute burial.
It'll probably turn into some like Best Friends versus United Empire schmazzy schmaz match.
I have had enough of Orange Cassidy. And like you're going against Will Ospreay. Like you can't do your whole whatever. It's Will fucking Ospreay. Like Jesus fucking Christ.
Will needs to win here, of course.
Yes. Up next, we have FTR versus United Empire, which is Great Okan and Jeff Cobb, versus Roppongi Vice, which is Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero, for the Ring of Honor World and IWGP Tag Team titles.
How about these go to somebody else? Because FTR is about to feud with Bucks.
Yep.
That's
why
I'm on.
The Bung Yucks.
I'm gonna go with Roppongi Vice because they're kind of a crossover team. They were big in New Japan. They're recently reformed back together, wrestling AEW some. I'm going with Roppongi here.
I agree for that exact same logic.
Roppongi Vice.
Yes, I think because Trent Beretta has very little to do in AEW currently.
Yeah.
So I think they'll put a belt on him and send him. He'll go back to New Japan and fucking kill it for a while, and it'll be great.
That's another reason why I think the deal is a lot of these guys. Another reason why I think the Good Brothers just won the Impact Tag titles is they're about to go over to Japan for a little tour and run too, and they're going to be taking those with them. So at least I think that's my opinion anyway.
Yeah, I agree with y'all on Roppongi Vice, by the way.
Up next, we have Thunder Rosa versus Toni Storm for the AEW Women's title.
Thunder Rosa.
Not yet, Tony. Not yet. I'm
Nope.
going Thunder.
Yeah,
got a huge win over Britt Baker. Kind of legitimized her, but
that's good enough for now.
Yeah. You can sit down after that. Up next, we have Pac versus Miro versus TBA versus Tomohiro Ishii for the AEW All Atlantic Championship.
The final?
Yes, this is the final. Whoever's in the last spot is obviously being decided tonight.
Miro.
Yeah, I'm going Miro too.
Yep, me too. Absolutely Miro.
God's favorite champion needs to be
the Redeemer
again.
Yeah, it's because it's either going to be Malachi Black or Penta Oscuro in the last spot. So I'm going Miro. Absolutely. And then finally, Jericho Appreciation Society versus Minoru Suzuki, Eddie Kingston, Wheeler Yuta, and Shota Umino. What do you guys think? They're going to fucking beat lumps into each other.
Yeah. Oh, no. I don't know. I say Jericho.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah. They're going to be kind of like the nastiest heels, I think, right now. So I'm going to stick with them.
I'm going to say Kingston and Party.
As am I. Because
I haven't given New Japan enough wins.
Yeah, that's true. Got to level them out.
Yeah.
I think Sammy Guevara is going to take the pin from Kingston and friends.
What if Sammy turns on Jericho?
Like a turn and a turn?
Like a hard turn. Like you thought I was coming back to be with you again, and now I'm on a hard turn. That'd be awesome.
Still not going to make him a face.
Right.
I mean, it's an attempt to make him a face, but I feel like right now he has such nuclear heat.
Yeah. Not the good kind of heat either.
Like not with me. I'm a mark for him, but like, yeah, I just think with the casual fan, he's still not over. He's currently got super heat.
You know, I compare him a lot to Austin Theory. Only Austin Theory, I feel like, is doing a better job of being that kind of character than Sammy. Because Sammy Guevara, again, has go-away heat for me. Austin Theory has great heat for me. I'm like, yeah, I fucking hate you, but you're awesome.
Right, yeah.
So yeah, that's Forbidden Door. This card is amazing, and it's going to have some of the best wrestling that has been on TV in a long time, and I can't fucking wait. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I love this too because I love New Japan cards, but I'll be honest, some of my, I guess kind of drawback from New Japan has always been because like every match is 45 minutes long.
Yeah, they do have that build. And...
Yeah, so it makes, which, I love, but I can't watch every match that long. So when they do these kind of cards where I can still see New Japan guys, but, maybe in 15, 20-minute matches, not 45, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, yeah, I love this, man. So I'm super pumped. It's in Chicago, man. I'm hoping for some excitement, some surprises. Yeah, and I'm super pumped for it, man. I'm most I've been excited in a while. Like, I'm more excited for this than SummerSlam.
Oh my God!
I don't even care.
We'll get to my thoughts on.
Yeah.
Well, SummerSlam isn't the next pay-per-view.
I know, right? Yeah, it's Money in the Bank, but still, like we should.
I feel you. I agree with you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I will say my excitement level. I talked about that earlier. It did raise a tick. Earlier I was like, meh, because I didn't take a full look at the card.
So really quick, if we weren't doing a podcast, I would abandon WWE.
Do we really have to cover this still?
But I was so angry that I was like, I'm done.
I text you guys when it happened.
Yeah.
I said we'll get to it. We will get to it, but I did say that their reflex in emergency situations fucking pissed me off because it was so stupid.
Yes. All right, so let's get to it. So let's talk about WWE, boys. SmackDown. Primo.
Smacking it down, baby.
Was in Minneapolis, Minnesota, boys. So
fitting, yeah.
We thought Vince was going to come out and talk about the situation going on with him, the lawsuit, yada yada. Vince is going to be on SmackDown. He's coming out, right when the show comes on. But basically, he comes out and says, "I'm here to remind you of the 4 words. Thank you for everything, yada yada. I'm here to remind you of the 4 words." Then, now, forever, together, basically saying, like, we'll get through this together,
welcome to Friday Night SmackDown.
Yeah, right, yeah. And then he said exactly what Primo did and left. Yeah. And that was
This was the entire thing. It took all of 30 seconds. Do you think that what's worse?
This.
Him not addressing anything, or the crowd knowing the situation and
cheering him,
totally putting him over. Yeah.
This was the worst fucking thing. One of the worst things that WWE has ever done. I hated this with a fiery passion.
Like I mentioned to Dirty before the pod, being that it was announced that he was going to be on the pod, or excuse me, the pod. He ain't going to be on our pod. But yeah, he was going to be on Smackity Down later that night. Anyway, it was announced beforehand. And he came on right at the start of the show for all of 5 seconds. I feel like it was a quick ratings grab. That's basically what it was.
It worked too, but it made me.
I saw people in squared circles say, "I haven't watched WWE in years, but I'm going to tune in just for this."
Yeah,
right. Yeah, and it was basically nothing.
I hated it. I hated this. Like, this moment almost made me just be like, I'm done. I will see you guys in about a year on WWE.
It's like, is he going out to say, hey, I'm still going to show my face during all this? Or, hey, is it I'm not guilty? Or is it, hey, I'm just going out here to try to get in my last hurrahs before I probably step down?
Look, man,
all of that.
We've seen his character on TV for forever. He is very much a what do you call those guys? Just a pig when it comes to women.
Yes.
Sure.
But I told you, or before the pod also, Dirty, that in my opinion, just because, like I said, I watched too many damn TV shows with powerful families in them.
Yeah.
That he announced he's stepping down from the CEO role so that Stephanie, his daughter, can be the CEO, and he's right over her shoulder still.
Yeah. Oh, he's still gonna call every shot on there.
Definitely still in the company. Like,
yeah.
Him saying he stepped down from the role made people think he's leaving. He's not going nowhere.
No, he's not giving up an iota of power in that company. Right. You know what? I hope that there's like a hostile takeover with Stephanie McMahon. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of her either, but I certainly don't think that in the middle of a hush money scandal, she would go out and jerk herself off in front of the entire WWE.
I still think that all the alliance talk is hilarious. Like, it took 21 years or whatever, and the alliance finally won. The invasion has come full circle.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy. All right, so are you guys interested in a Corbin versus Pat McAfee feud?
Nope.
I can see this being a SummerSlam match.
It will be. And nope. I love Pat McAfee, but nope.
Kind of thinking. I'll say kind of. I'm not against it because Corbin has a real beef there. He has some real gripe. I mean, McAfee has been calling him bum-ass Corbin for a while.
A long time, yeah. So, yeah. He's like, they're former football players, all that kind of stuff. So that'll be, all right. That'd be interesting. Raquel Rodriguez. They still calling her Raquel Rodriguez. Qualifies for Money in the Bank.
Yep, she did. But to backtrack, I just want to say, maybe I'm also excited because I actually do like Baron Corbin. I'm excited to see him with somebody else.
Yeah, no more Madcap.
Yeah.
Also, they changed the name of Raquel Rodriguez's finisher, didn't they? Because the old one was called it offensive or something. What's the name of the new one?
Gringo Killer. That's homicide.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. I don't know if he.
Last name now? Rodriguez.
Yeah. We'll come back to that. All right, so main event was Roman versus Riddle, of course.
Tejana Bomb.
Yeah, Tejana Bomb.
Instead of the Chingona Bomb.
That's right.
So it was an awesome match. Roman won, of course, by spear. Riddle can't challenge for the title, allegedly, now, while Roman is still the champion. So...
he speared the shit out of Riddle.
Yeah, he did. It was like a springboard off of the ropes.
Like, Riddle kind of went stiff for a second.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
This match was great.
It really was good.
It really was a good match.
It really was good. And then so, as the Bloodline goes to leave the ring, Brock Lesnar's music hits. He comes back, offers a handshake
this is
to
about the
Roman.
time I was throwing my drink at the TV.
And then an F5 obviously ensued, and he runs off the Usos as SmackDown goes off. And once again, we got Lesnar versus Roman at SummerSlam. Let's hear your gripes, boys.
So, number one, it's not even for Money in the Bank, which is the very next pay-per-view. It's for SummerSlam. So we gotta wait for this shit to get over till SummerSlam.
Yep.
Which is like in August, And it's a last man stand. So they added a stipulation. It's a last man standing match. Sure. But like I said, and a lot of people around the wrestling community said, like, in case of emergency, break glass, insert Brock. That's basically it.
Yep.
So at the beginning of the show, I was like this close to being like, all right, I'm fucking done with you, WWE. I'm just done. At this point, I was like, that's it. I'm done with you, WWE. There will be no more. I will sit here and make jokes while you guys do the WWE recaps. Have no idea what you're talking about and be just happy that I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I wasn't even angry. I was just like, It's like my brain shut off.
Listen to our podcast. What our podcast is good for. Let you know everything that happens. So
exactly.
Well, I do think that we have no bias for sure.
True. No bias whatsoever. Completely unbiased.
I'll judge them all for sure.
Oh my god.
So let's move on to Raw then, boys. We're on the University of Nebraska's campus for this one.
Oh, the Cornhuskers.
Carmella is your new number.
Really quick before you guys start. I do have to say, I was in my I can't even think of the word right now. I didn't watch it because I was so angry. So this is going to be new for me right now because I have no idea what happened.
So Carmella's the new number one contender at Money in the Bank to Bianca Belair's Raw Women's title. After she won a fatal 5-way match, she pinned Liv Morgan. So she's now she stepped in for Rhea. Obviously, Rhea was the number one contender. So somebody to feed to Bianca, I guess, at Money in the Bank.
Carmella defeated Liv Morgan, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, and Becky Lynch.
Correct. You're kidding, right?
No, that was the 5 that was in the match. Yes.
Okay.
Yep. But more of that plays out later. Vince comes out once again in a strange, we just got done talking about it, but he comes out to basically tell us that John Cena's coming next week, and we already knew that.
Exactly. If you're watching TV, you see the commercials.
Yeah. And that was all he said, and he turned around and left.
Give himself a nice little.
He's like,
nice
it's
little
like
stroke.
before those two gorillas. Hey, watch this! I'm gonna go out here and say something.
Right.
And he just goes out there. He's like, "What can I do? Oh, John Cena's coming next."
I'll talk about John Cena.
Yeah, what cracked me up is like 2 seconds later, after he leaves the ring, they announced that Reigns Lesnar match is last man standing. Why did Vince not say that too while he was out? Like
Right.
At least that's an announcement.
Exactly.
At least that's something we didn't know.
Right, because that wasn't announced officially at the end of SmackDown.
Right. Yeah. But anyway, so moving on, almost beat Riddle to qualify for Money in the Bank. Almost in the Money in the Bank match.
This dude, when he puts his hand up in the air with his pointer finger up in the sky or whatever, with his hands extended, he could almost touch the belt without the ladder.
How funny would it be if he just walks up to he doesn't even get the
runs?
ladder. He just walks up. He's like, "I'll take that."
Yeah, right. He's got the little ladder.
They got to break out the Big Show ladder.
Seth Rollins comes out though.
Or he just has MVP grab it for him. Or he puts MVP on his shoulders.
Yeah, see? Now we're booking.
Sorry, I got excited.
That's okay. I was just going to say Seth Rollins comes out post-match. There we go. He throws Riddle out of the ring and then grabs the mic and says he will win Money in the Bank. And then after his promo, basically, I just summed all that up for you. He curb stomps Riddle, which is a pretty nasty one. So we might see a little Rollins-Riddle feud.
I was excited about this when I saw it. I had two things out of this. He said in that promo, I will be the one to take the belts off of Roman.
He said, I've got his number.
I agree. That's what I said. And then, secondly, I'm totally down for a Riddle versus Seth feud.
So, 2 things. Having not watched this. 1, Rollins versus Riddle feud. Fuck yes. That would be fantastic. I love both those guys. And 2, if Seth Rollins wins Money in the Bank, that might go a long way to repairing some of my hurt feelings over the last week of WWE. Because Seth Rollins with the Money in the Bank briefcase, fuck yes. That'd be amazing.
It's weird because there's a lot of people that aren't in the Money in the Bank. The men's Money in the Bank.
But it's going to be like almost. And it's because of course it is.
Right.
Happy Corbin.
So next up, boys, probably the funniest thing on Raw right now. Kevin Owens interrupted the Elias concert.
He talks like Elias. He sounds like Elias. Because that's Elias, okay?
Yeah, I mean, this has kind of gotten funnier because they made a video where Elias was on one side, Ezekiel was on the other. Video.
Wait, they sat on the couch together. Yes,
sat on the couch together. Yeah.
So did he have
that whole part was hilarious. Yes, but it was very well done. No, it was
well done. Yeah, it was very good. Yeah.
So they're not playing
he had the beard on, and he had like how he used to put his hair up in the bandana.
Yeah.
Like.
You could tell it was a fake beard, but
yeah,
it was very, very, very close. So he come out to do a concert. KO interrupts him. They end up getting in a scuffle. Elias hits KO with a guitar on the back. Not Double J style across the head, but across the back. But so yeah, this made this really funny. Like this was
I like how he
spot.
had 3 guitars and he picked the one to hit him with.
Yeah, I picked the one to hit him with.
Gotta hit him with the gimmick one. He's not the honky tonk man.
Right.
True.
And then we got a small little flash. Is Ciampa gonna maybe be Miz's new tag team partner? Maybe,
dude. I don't know what's going on with Ciampa. He's doing this weird surprise attacks every week on random people.
Yeah.
So, but one thing you didn't
hunter or something.
One thing about that Kevin Owens thing was afterwards he goes, because he's backstage and he's getting interviewed about it, and he's like, "I want a match next week, and I don't care if it's Elias, Ezekiel, or the little brother Elron."
Yeah.
So now it's like that's like the match announcement. It's Kevin Owens versus one of 3 people.
Right, yeah. It's going to be Ezekiel, Elias, or Elrod. One of 2. He was screaming Elrod, I think, towards the end. Yeah. AJ was on Miz TV, and then AJ beat Ciampa in a match later, and then he hit Miz with the Styles Clash. So it looks like maybe some kind of something starting there between AJ and Miz. But that was basically it up until we get to the main event, which this was kind of interesting to me. Asuka beat Becky to qualify for Money in the Bank. Basically, Becky loses it, goes crazy, goes nuts, starts tearing things up, trying to rip her own hair out. She just looks defeated and pissed, and they show her kind of sitting down by herself crying as the show goes off. So this says maybe a character change, maybe a little here or something.
So is she going to also get a doll that looks like her, and then she's going to be super protective of said doll and then go nuts when someone inevitably rips up said doll?
Yeah, we've seen this before, haven't we?
We might have, yes.
Or she could be
oh no,
female Seth Rollins, Joker, go psycho.
True. But that was it for Raw. If you guys don't have anything, man, I got a couple notes for NXT here.
Just that supposedly, I think this week they're going to let AJ have another chance at trying to qualify.
You can't have a Money in the Bank match without AJ.
So I'm just like, dude, what the hell? Yeah. AJ Styles is having to fight his way into this match.
Sure, why not? Make sense of that.
Give him the hardest road, make him barely qualify for it, and then he ends up winning it.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. I agree with that route because of that exact reason. It's something he hasn't done in the WWE.
If AJ Styles ends up taking the belts off
Wrestling
of Roman
boner
Reigns,
for you, yeah.
That would.
If he even won Money in the Bank,
chef's kiss.
I wouldn't be mad. So, all right. So NXT boys, Grayson Waller.
I'm bad at this. Waller.
He beat Solo Sikoa in the leadoff match here.
Why is Solo Sikoa losing? That's weird.
Because Grayson Waller's good, man.
Grayson Waller, he flew from the outside to the inside, then he jumped up and did this flying cutter thing.
Yeah, it's great. I
was
like
wild.
It. Yeah, it was cool. He's a great heel right now, and they're kind of facing Solo Sikoa at the moment. But great. They announced Great American Bash is in 2 weeks. It's just an elevated show that we already watch on Tuesdays. Von Wagner won again over Jeb Jepson or whatever that Josh Briggs tag team partner is. I think it's Jeb Jepson. Yeah. Main event though, Tony D'Angelo versus Carmelo for the NXT North American title. Now the finish was that you guys remember Santos Escobar and El Legado Fantasma are part of the family at the moment due to Escobar losing the match.
Stipulation,
Yeah, right. So the finish to this match was going to be Santos Escobar was going to throw brass knuckles to Tony. He was going to knock out Carmelo to use them. So Tony falls down over in front of Santos. Pablo Escobar Santos said he's supposed to throw the brass knuckles over to him. Well, instead, he throws them over to Carmelo Hayes, who uses them to knock out Tony and gets the win 1-2-3. So it looks, and as the show goes off, Escobar and El Legado are walking up the ramp. So it looks like that is over, and we're going to go back to seeing a little family versus.
They never truly listened.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they never. They didn't follow orders the entire time.
No, they always spoiled whatever Tony had planned anyway. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. But I don't know. I'm kind of liking that storyline a little bit because I like Escobar and I like D'Angelo both. But
I just like how every time D'Angelo talks down to Escobar, Wild and the other guy, they just look at him they look at Escobar like, really, dude? Like, are we really doing this shit?
Yeah, right. I know it. All right, so that'll do it for our recap for the week, man. It's time to get to that Dropkick discussion.
Hey guys, this is Mr. Havens, the Argyle assassin himself, giving them all the shivers. This is the one and only Mike Hartenbauer.
This is Space Jesus Billy Starks.
This is referee Dan Perch.
What's up, bozos? This is Trevor Outlaw. You can address me as yours rudely. And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast.
You guys are listening to Sit Down Marks podcast.
You're listening to Sit Down Marks podcast.
Come celebrate pro wrestling right here on the Sit Down Marks podcast.
With DB, Primo, and AJ.
With DB, Primo, and AJ.
With Primo, DB, and AJ.
And you're listening to DB, Primo, AJ here on the Sit Down Marks podcast, the best podcast for professional wrestling.
All right, Dropkick discussion today is Sting versus Vader from Starrcade 1992. Let's talk about this one. This was coined the King of Cable tournament finale between these two guys. This was on the Starrcade 92 Battle Bowl pay-per-view back in this day. So fun little note here before we start. You know, we heard Jim Ross a lot in this match. This was his last pay-per-view before going to the WWE in 1992. So this was kind of cool.
Wait, was it really? I did not know that.
Yeah, this was his very last pay-per-view with WCW before he moved on.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah, so that was kind of cool to know. So getting to the match, this was a big match in their rivalry. These guys knew each other very well, obviously, as this match was kind of thrown together because this was a mess of a pay-per-view.
My God.
The main event was supposed to have been Ron Simmons versus Rick Rude, but Rick Rude got hurt, so instead they decided to do this Battle Bowl mess. These guys wrestled like 3 or 4 times, earlier in the night, and then they wrestled later at the end. So anyway, but yeah, both these guys wrestled each other earlier in the card to qualify for the Battle Bowl match that they wrestled after they had this singles match here. So I don't know, it was pretty wild. They went 17 minutes. Jim Ross, Jesse Ventura are the guys calling the match, which, kind of makes this match great because they really get a story over, and Vader is so agile to do a lot of the moves that a lot of men cannot do. So we see a lot of stuff from a big man here, and I thought Jim Ross and Jesse Ventura both did a good job here of selling both these guys. So Vader comes to the ring. He's got his red and black usual tights. He's got the face mask on. He's he's got Harley Race with him during this particular era. Sting comes out. He's got blue and white. The paint's already fading off his face because he had already wrestled earlier in the night. So he's got the blue pants, white scorpion, white boots on the side. And so we're about to get started here, boys. What'd you see up until the match start here?
So this is the pay-per-view I remember very fondly because it's one of the ones that, so my mom was gone for, whatever night. So we had a babysitter, and my mom was like, okay, AJ and Michael can order Starrcade. And we were like, so we went fucking nuts. so I got to watch this. Like, we ordered, it was one of the first ones that I actually got to watch. Is like this one and SummerSlam when it was in England. But so this is a very fun show for me. So I was super excited to watch this again. And you were right when you called it an absolute mess, because it was. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I went through and watched the whole thing over again, and mainly to see the matches with Big Van Vader and Sting and them, like, that were earlier in the night. So they were both, well, obviously Vader's, neither of these guys are going to get tired. Like, they're both still going to be able to go after wrestling once already in the card. So it was great to see Sting's face paint, like, all like smeared off and stuff already. Like, he's already been through it. So I was super hyped for this match, and the show did a good job of that as well. Because, like, even though I've seen this pay-per-view like 10 times, I was still just as excited. It was great.
So I have the King of Cable and the King of Cable trophy. Awesome. Definitely would go over way more in 1992 than it would in 2022, 30 years
What's
later.
cable?
Exactly. Sure. Bunch of cord cutters around here. Nowadays it'd be like the Netflix or the Hulu title.
Yeah. It would. The digital world title.
But, we got Do-Rag Vader. Nice.
Uh-huh.
Sting's face paint's already coming off before the match begins. And that's all I got up to the beginning.
All right, so let's talk about this match. Obviously, another WCW pay-per-view held in Atlanta, Georgia at the Omni. I forgot to stick that in there. But, so the match starts. They're feeling each other out. Vader says no pain as Sting hits him with lefts and rights, and Vader's basically shaking him off. So a rough start for Sting as Vader is dominating early, even pretty much gorilla pressing Sting over his head and dropping him on the ropes. And Sting finally gets Vader off his feet and then clotheslines him outside the ring, as that's how they kind of like start the match. So big splash from Sting outside onto Harley Race and Vader as they both go back outside the ring for a little while, and then they both get back in the ring, and they both kind of take over small moments of control throughout the match. So nothing real big here, but Sting gets a probably one of the coolest spots in the match. Sting sort of gets a superplex on Vader. Vader, I think he's actually on like the second rope when he gets him on it, but still cool nonetheless. And then that leads to a Scorpion Deathlock, but Vader gets to the rope and gets out of it. So, but after that, they go back outside. Sting misses a Stinger Splash on Vader, and he hits the guardrail instead. This is where the match kind of turns here. So, Sting is obviously hurt. Vader starts to take over. Vader starts to beat up on Sting. Punches, suplexes, splashes, more punches, kicks. Vader is basically unloading the toolbox on Sting here. Then this is where the real storyline starts. And this is what I think kind of makes this match really awesome. Vader is basically just punishing Sting, right? With these hard, club-like shots with his punches, and where, the referee is almost looking like he's going to jump in and stop the match because Sting has taken so much of a beating, right? Like he's just, Vader's just taking over. You hear Ross and Ventura say, if this was a boxing match, the referee would have stopped this a long time ago, right. But this is professional wrestling, and, that kind of stuff. So, Sting is roping open, just taking basically everything Vader's giving him. And, Sting is hurt, but he's doing the old Rocky. He's telling him, bring it on, just bring it on, and he's covering up when he comes over there, Vader's giving him more shots. So the comeback for Sting starts when he gets Vader on like a fall away slam, a Stinger Splash from the top rope, but Vader kicks out on 2. Now, Harley finally jumps in and distracts Sting. Vader chokes slams Sting and splashes Sting again from the top rope, but doesn't quite get all of it. And you once again hear Ventura and Jim Ross say, Vader's starting to get frustrated because here's another splash from the top rope that he didn't quite get all of. So as we hear them say this is the finish because Vader goes back up to the top rope for what they say is the third time for another splash. Sting catches him, which is awesome, mid-air, like catches him mid-air. And then it kind of turns to like somewhat of a power slam, but Sting rolls into it for a 1-2-3 for the win. That's how it finishes up. Sting is presented with the King of Cable trophy by Jesse Ventura. So, talk to me about this match, guys.
I love this. Okay, we'll get to that later. So, first of all, Vader puts a beating on Sting that you just don't see much anymore. Like he body slams him so many times that I don't even know how many it was because I turned into like 10-year-old me again during this match where I was like, no, don't do that to Sting.
Not Mr. Sting.
No, he's my favorite. Vader. That's what I did when I was 10. Shook my fist at people. But yeah, this whole entire match was just Vader beating the shit out of Sting and Sting being like, nope, give me more. Like, come on. I'm still fine. Do some things. And it's amazing that, there's so many cool spots, like the top rope suplex, Harley Race getting involved, which Harley Race taking a bump is still kind of cool because he's like 102 at this point. So I'll skip to the end because the whole thing basically was Sting gets beaten and won't quit, and
he gets pummeled, yeah.
And 10-year-old me, because it's well documented that Sting was my favorite wrestler growing up, and he's still one of my favorite wrestlers.
It's in the history books.
Yes, it is. It's in the annals of Sit Down Mark's lore.
That's right.
So, like as a kid, I've never hated someone more than Van Vader and loved someone more than Sting. And like I just was so behind Sting, and when he caught him, because it was a catch. As a kid, I didn't think much of it apart from this is so awesome. I can't, yay, Sting, he fought back, and no, you can't beat Sting. He's Rocky with blonde hair. Vader. Blah, blah. But as an adult watching that, I was like, okay, so Sting had one match already in the night. This went like 17 minutes, and he's still able to catch 450-pound Van Vader and turn it into like a power slam type dealy. It was like the coolest thing just fucking ever. And that's what I have up until the 1, 2, 3.
So I had from after the entrance, after we got Do-Rag Vader and Messy Face Sting, we had, so I just wrote that military press or gorilla press, whatever you want to call it, where Vader threw Sting across the ropes twice. Looked so dangerous.
I know, right?
Like it looked so sketchy because he threw him with such force. If Sting wasn't such a pro, like he couldn't, he had to catch himself.
Sure.
Jesse Ventura says, sometimes it's smart to be a quitter. And I said, no, sir. No, it's not. It's never good to be a quitter. I said, I know Sting is fighting Vader here. Like, don't get me wrong. He's Sting and that's Vader. But they're really downplaying Sting's strength. And I said, he was massive. Don't they remember he was a Blade Runner?
Yeah, right? He was.
Like, Sting was huge. That just tells you how much bigger Vader was.
Right. Absolutely.
And, like, even think of it in today's wrestling. Look at him next to Darby Allin. Sting is giant next to Darby Allin.
Yeah.
And Sting looked like Darby Allin next to Vader.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He did.
So, Vader was choking Sting, like bare hand, choking Sting around the throat, right in front of the referee. Ventura said, "Oh, that just thought that was funny." Ventura said, "That's got to be depressing as hell when you do the move, and the other guy is still up first before you."
Right. Yeah.
Vader smacked the ref at one point. Should have been a DQ.
DQ?
Because he was like fighting Sting in the corner, and the ref was like, hey. He like smacked him to get him out of the way. And DQ. And he choke slammed Sting before they really knew what choke slams were back in the day. And I just thought that was an interesting choke slam because it wasn't quite a choke slam, but it was. And then on the first top rope splash that he did, he smushed Sting.
Smushed.
He splatted him.
What a great word.
I felt so bad. Like, I don't want to be... Like, you really got to trust Vader, right?
Vader, who's known for being hurdy in the ring.
Yeah.
Smushed him.
He smushed him. And then afterwards, that counter into a power slam for the victory was really nice to crown Sting the king of cable, king of Netflix and Hulu. The 3 count, well, although I will say, even though I was going for Sting in this, and maybe it's because of that shove that Vader gave him.
Sure.
But that 3 count was kind of fast.
He was getting his comeuppance.
and then I said that afterwards, when Sting received the trophy, it was a very babyface, like, rah, 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 we went and got him promo from Sting.
Fuck yeah. The Peacock, King of Peacock.
King of Peacock. That is where I watched it. Yeah, Peacock.
All right, boys. So we've watched it. We reviewed it. It's time to smelly mark rate it. AJ, where are we going?
So last week was one of my lowest smelly mark ratings. This week is going to be one of my highest smelly mark ratings. I mean, just because it had everything for me. It had my favorite babyface of all time. Had the nostalgia factor for me because, again, got to order it. And it was just the best white meat babyface of all time, being the best white meat babyface of all time. One of the best, like, monster heels of all time, being one of the best monster heels of all time.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm going to give this 9.25 smelly, stinky marks.
Primo.
Okay. I'm not going to go near as high. But I got to say, for me, I liked it. I mean, Surfer Sting was dope. Vader was also really cool. Extra points. I would give Vader an extra half point for the do-rag. But for me, overall, 6.5 smelly marks out of 10.
For me, I'm going higher because, I mean, this match had everything, man. It had the white meat baby face. It had the heel. It had a very well laid out storyline. They had the crowd. We had agility from a allegedly 450-pound man that they kept saying. You know what I mean? From Vader. And an awesome finish, awesome spots, man. I don't see how it gets too much better in a match, other than, probably just being in the time. I went 8 and 8.5 just because, this match basically had everything, it maybe lacked a little bit of excitement if I had to be hypocritical, but
take it back.
I'm going 8.5, but this is one of the best matches I think Sting and Vader had together for sure.
Yeah. I think it's because I didn't get to order it when my mom bought me a babysitter.
It was great.
Yeah. I probably loved this match more when I was 17 in 92, than now. I'm a little more critical of it now, but I don't know. Like it's hard to be critical because it's pretty awesome.
3-year-old little Primo there. Just,
hated it.
2 notes. Go ahead.
Didn't hate it. It was a 6.5.
Yeah. No, I mean 3-year-old Primo.
That's kind of low though. That's for this match. That's pretty low.
Yeah, I feel like your subjective opinion is wrong.
Yeah.
I think part of that for me, like, I didn't like how I told you, I didn't like how they were downplaying Sting's strength so much. He's a strong ass dude.
Yeah, and his whole career he was
one of the Blade Runners. Like, come on.
He was with the Dingo Warrior.
He can lift up fucking Vader, obviously.
Yeah.
2 notes I thought about this. Yeah, Vader. Remember Christian Rose told us he wrestled Vader, so I thought about that. Was pretty cool.
Super cool.
And
Awesome.
the last thing is the Battle Bowl that they had after this match.
Mhm.
The Great Muta won.
Yeah. 10-year-old me was horrendously disappointed.
Yeah, I bet it did.
When I was a
bet
kid.
it did. It probably disappointed a lot of people. I'm disappointed now looking back. Like, really, Muta?
The Great Muta? Why?
Great Muta? Yeah. So anyway, but that's the Dropkick discussion for this week, boys. Next week is our final Starrcade match. We are headed to Starrcade 1998. We got a Rey Mysterio, Juventud Guerrera, and Billy Kidman three-way cruiserweight dance. So it's going to be awesome. That's going to finish up our month of Starrcade matches. So let's get now, AJ, let's go over to the MMA picks for the week. So let me start off by saying Primo, his match got canceled. So his record will stay the same at 12-11. The guy that Primo had picked next to him come up with some sort of injury or something like that.
The guy that I picked did not. He's not the one that backed out.
Oh, it's the
just for
other
the
guy?
record there.
Yeah. Still doesn't result as a win though.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to AJ then. AJ, you were 48-44 coming into this week. You picked Calvin Kattar to beat Josh Emmett. Let's see if you got that one right.
You've been on quite the win streak there, 48-44. What's that noise for? Well, you know.
Yeah, goddamn. Fuck you and your foreshadowing.
All right, AJ. So that'll drop you to 48-45. We got to get you to 50 because once you get to 50, I got a brand new game for you. So
you're gonna be the new gambler guy.
You got aspirations. Okay?
Yes, I do. Okay, it's business time. Okay,
yeah, it's business time. All right, so let's talk about this week, man. You're picking UFC lightweights, a couple low-rated lightweights. Let's start off with the number 11, Arman Sakurian. He's 18-2, 25 years old. He's 5'6", 155 pounds with a 72-inch reach. Now he is fighting a number 12, Matus Gamrot, who is 20-1. A 31-year-old, 5'8", 155 pounds with a 70.5 reach. So these guys are very similar, except basically Arman has 2-inch reach longer, basically.
It's so weird because Arman is 2 inches shorter, but he has 2-inch longer reach.
Right.
It went off his height and went to his arms.
It did.
He's also six years younger.
So for this bout, I'm going to go with Gorgon Grassroot, whose name I forgot his name already.
Gamrot?
Gamrot.
Matus Gamrot?
Matus Gamrot.
I love that anyway.
Gargoyle.
I'm going with Matus Gangrel.
All right, Primo, you are 12-11, man. Let's see if we can get you back on the dub side. You looking at that card this week, man? Who you like?
I am. I'm looking at that card at that bantamweight matchup down there. It's one of the openers, and I'm going with Umar Nurmat. Did we did this earlier? Umar
Nurmagomedov.
Nurmagomedov?
Who is Khabib's younger brother?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's where I heard that name from. Like,
Nurmagomedov. Yes.
Yeah, he's a stone cold killer too.
Yes,
so
I am going for him.
A good pick there. All right, good deal. All right. Now that we got that out of the way, I got a nice little new game for AJ once he hits 50, but I'm going to make him earn it before we get there. So before we switch it up. So
fair.
A new one. All right, so let's get moving on here, boys. It's time for promo school.
You're listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast, and I'm the king of Catterday, and it's Gary fucking J.
Side note, go check out Gary J's on St. Louis Anarchy's YouTube channel if you had a chance. He's got like an hour-long documentary on there about Gary J, who was a former guest of the pod, like you just heard. So go check that out. Quick little plug there. But back to promo school. So I thought about, the Doctor of Thugonomics would be a good one to bring back. Well, instead of going back to the 90s or 2000s, I decided to go back to 2012 when Cena and The Rock were feuding with each other. And Cena did a little bit of a throwback here, and he cut a promo on The Rock as the Doctor of Thugonomics. So this is from March 12th, 2012. So just a little over 30 years ago.
Rock wanted me to write his song tonight, but I would never be his mouthpiece. Because Rock's like LeBron James. He took his talent straight down to South Beach. And for the past few weeks, Rock's been legitimately pissed. If you get stuck singing your song tonight, Rock, it's all in the wrist. Could we please have a week where you don't come out here and choke? You may be G.I. Joe this summer. Right now, you're a G.I. joke.
G.I. joke.
Not bad. Not bad.
Ever since I opened my mouth about you, you've been begging me to back off. So if Rock and Dwayne are the same person, I think y'all both are jack-offs. And after April 1st, you won't be making no more movies. You're going to need surgery on your face just like you had it on your boobies.
Boobies.
Those popping pecs, they had more work than a locker room full of divas. I got a gift for Rock tonight. I'm going to give him a Cleveland steamer. Team Bring It, he's Team Lost It, and the truth is getting scary because they weren't chanting Rocky last week. They were chanting Tooth Fairy. Keep making fun of this Fruity Pebble Rock because I ain't even close to sick of it. I'm Mr. Kung Pao Chicken. You just Miami Fried Chicken.
He said chicken shit.
Yeah, it was the S word. That's what it was.
And no, I don't have balls, but I got something in their place. I'm going to beat your ass at WrestleMania and put my nuts dead in your face.
So, just out of curiosity, John Cena did say he was going to shit on The Rock's chest, right? Like that was
absolutely
okay. Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean,
just wanted to make sure.
And put his nuts in his face.
Yeah. Well, that's fine.
He's really degrading The Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have some nuts and have some poo on
Oh
your
well, if
fake
you
boobs.
notice, like through, I'm like, so Dr. Thugonomics is my favorite iteration of John Cena. And a lot of his raps have to do with nuts or balls.
Yeah, a lot of them. A lot of them.
Yeah, they do. Yep, they do. But nonetheless, great promo there from the Doctor of Thugonomics, and yeah, that was. I thought that was pretty funny when I ran across that one. So that was a good one there. All right, it's time to move on. Let's talk to Chris Slammer.
Yo, this is Slammer, and you're listening to Primo, DB, and AJ at the Sit Down Marks. And what you gonna do when Slammer Mania runs wild on you, brother?
All right, so recently we had the chance to talk to Chris Slammer. He is going to be at CCW this weekend in a battle royal at the Super Show, and he was gracious enough to chat with us on Father's Day just a couple days ago about his career being a UPS driver. He lives the gimmick, man. He is Chris Slammer 24/7. He's always drinking those Bang energy drinks, delivering packages. I had fun talking to him, man. Chris, and I mean, my God, he had more memorabilia, I think, than I might have seen anybody have before.
That room was a museum. It was amazing. I want to live in there.
That's exactly the word I was going to use for it, was museum.
Museum? Yeah, it was.
Yes,
it was so awesome.
It's fantastic. That's one of those things, like, how you always hear the joke about how when I pass away or whatever, my wife better not sell my guns. Well, that's his situation with wrestling memorabilia. He has a ton of it.
A ton.
Yeah, absolutely, man. He is a big collector, and it was really cool to get to talk to him, especially after I was excited to just meet him. Now we got to talk to him and learn more about him here. So here's our interview with CCW wrestler, Midwest professional wrestler Chris Slammer. Today's guest is a Midwest-based wrestler becoming seen more and more promotions and is often seen at Cape Championship Wrestling in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and he is here to talk about the big card going down this Saturday in CCW. But not only that, he is also a UPS driving, Bang energy drinking, current new breed wrestling TV champion. Welcome, Chris Slammer, to the pod for the first time, brothers.
Welcome.
Hey, thanks.
Chris, what's going on, man? Happy Father's Day. First off, thanks for giving us some time today, dude. We appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. Happy Father's Day to you guys and everybody out there in Sit Down Mark Land.
Thank you.
That's right, man. Yeah, Chris, it was long story short, last time I met you was at the CCW shows. Excited. I've been a fan of yours on social media before that. I think I told you that, you're a good follow on Instagram, especially. I enjoy your social media stuff before I even met you, man. So it's finally cool to get to sit down and talk to you, man, because, big show coming up this weekend, dude.
Yeah, big, the Super Show. That's our WrestleMania down here at Cape Championship Wrestling.
There you go. That just explains how big it is right there, man. Well, thanks again for taking the time to come and talk to us today. So Midwest wrestler based, probably, in the Missouri area, a lot of Western Illinois, I guess, towns, St. Louis area, so to speak. Is that where Chris Slammer can be seen at the most?
Yeah, mainly St. Louis, Cape. Last night I was in Poplar Bluff. Going to be making my debut here real soon in Alton, Illinois. I'm going to make Memphis next month. So I'm a little bit all over the place here, especially here coming up this summer. I got a lot going on. Pretty excited.
Yeah, man. I feel like you're picking up a little bit of steam, Chris. I've seen you being added on a lot of show posters lately. Honestly, I'm seeing the guns, popping up a lot more. Right. Yeah, you know what I mean. So on the show posters, so it's got to be. It looks like it's turning out to be a pretty good summer for you.
Yeah, I'm excited. Got a lot going on. Had a couple matches here over the last few weeks, and whole lot going on this summer. It's real crazy to wrap my head around how much is going on.
Right. Well, before we get into everything, Chris, let's talk about the massive amount of wrestling memorabilia is behind you. Everything I see from Ric Flair, Survivor Series, Ultimate Warrior, Kurt, Kane, like, dude, like, holy shit, homie. That is a lot, man.
Yeah.
This is the coolest. I've been like sitting here, like looking at, this is the coolest room I think I've ever seen in my fucking life. Like, what do you got going on there? What are some of your favorites?
What is some of my favorite stuff? Oh gosh. Well, I like to point the Cardillo weight belt that Hulk Hogan gave me. So that's probably my most cherished thing there. So, and Steve Cardillo makes these belts, and Steve is actually a friend of mine. I don't know if you know who Steve is. Steve's made belts for everybody for the past 25 plus years. Macho Man.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Anybody and everybody. He makes belts for The Rock, and he actually made me a belt too, which is out upstairs with my other stuff. But that's probably my coolest thing right there. I mean, everything's cool. I mean, that would probably be my main thing. It's autographed by Hulk, and he gave it to me. So yeah, that's.
Well, let me say this too, man, is as loving wrestling as long as I have, I love all the wrestling posters on your ceiling. I think that's an awesome touch. Like, some are fight posters, some are, like you got a Bret Hart poster there, Owen, but you know what I mean? Like, those are awesome, man. Like, everybody had those on their wall growing up.
Yeah, and I've grown up and I've still got them on my walls.
Oh,
I
man,
wish I still had, like, I was a big Bret Hart fan. I still am, and I wish I had my Bret Hart posters from when I was a kid.
Yeah, everything I've never got rid of anything. I get offended when people say, "Hey, would you like to sell anything?" It's like nothing's for sale. This is my stuff, you know.
get fucked. Like, no.
I actually got a little nervous a few months ago. We bought this house about 3 years ago, and it'd been a while since I got to display everything. And a few months ago, I was super nervous because I'm like, I've got 2 Sergeant Slaughter G.I. Joe figures from like 1985 or whatever. And luckily, I found them bad boys right there.
Nice.
I had them in a Goldberg wrestling mug. I don't even know what possessed me to look in. I just remembered about 20 years ago, I put everything away and I was like, I'm gonna put these in this mug and remember there's there, which I forgot, but for some reason, a couple months ago I remembered. So everything's here and accounted for.
That's so awesome. I want that room.
Yeah, and I'm constantly adding to it. Probably the most favorite thing over there, I got all the retro Mattels that started coming out, I don't know what, about 5 years ago, probably something like that.
So do you have like a pretty good like mental inventory of everything?
Oh yeah, I know. I probably know everything. Sometimes I'd have to think about it for a minute, but yeah, I think my mental inventory, I would know if something wasn't here.
Sure.
I said I forgot about something, but I actually remembered where it was. So yeah, crazy.
Right.
Nice. All right, Chris, man, let's talk about it, man. How long you been taking bumps, man? When did you go to training school? Who trained you? How long you been doing it now?
Well, it's a crazy story. I won't display my age because I'm a vampire. But anyway, back in all I've ever wanted to do was be a wrestler since a little kid. And the story with me is about 16 years old, back when we had wrestling magazines. You remember those things? Which I have
Of course I do.
Of those.
Yes.
There really wasn't a whole lot of wrestling schools around. I remember I wrote a letter to the WWF, which they responded with a letter, which I have here somewhere, from JJ Dillon replying to me about wrestling schools and stuff. It was just a generic letter, but it was cool to get,
For sure.
But there was a school out in California called Slammers Wrestling Gym. And the main head slammer was Vern Langdon. And I wrote a letter out there, said, I want to be a wrestler one day, probably like when I was 16, I wrote that, and I'd love to come out there. And he would every now and then give me a call or write a letter and sent me a couple t-shirts. And then like 1996-ish, I actually went out there for a weekend and got to get in a ring for the first time and go to their matches out there at the Slammers Wrestling Federation. I guess you can kind of see the name, why the name Slammers all of a sudden popping up. So I guess that kind of gives you a little clue of why I'm Slammer. It's my tribute to Slammers Wrestling Gym, because they gave a care about a kid that wanted to be a wrestler and gave time. And anyway, to this day I don't know why I didn't pursue going out there, but about a year, not quite a year after that, I met up with some people around here and took some bumps in a ring from a guy named Dan Burdick, and he wrestled in like the Sikeston, Missouri area.
Okay.
And he ended up, right when I started getting in with these guys, they went and did a couple shows. I'd go with them. And he said, well, I hate to tell you this, but I'm going to move to Minnesota. If you want to come up there and stay and train, you're welcome to come up there, And I was like, okay. About the same time, my dad's sitting in the hospital waiting on a heart transplant. And I remember walking in the rooms telling everybody, hey guys, I'm going to go to Minnesota and be a wrestler, And so nice. I left, and I was gone a couple of weeks. And after a couple of weeks, I just decided I wanted to come home. And I thought, maybe one day something will pop up. So fast forward a few more years to about 2002-ish, there was a guy named LA Cash that popped up. His name's Chris Epps. That ring a bell to you?
Yep, it does.
He opened up a gym called Iron Horse Gym here in Farmington. And my mom and dad said one day, hey, a guy got a wrestling ring over here. It's like $200 for a membership to the gym. You want us to buy you a membership for your birthday? And I was like, yeah, that'd be great. So I started going to this gym, and then I started kind of bumping in the ring with him for a while, and still nothing really, for some reason, ever came out of it, if that makes any sense. It's a really strange story that nothing ever came out of it.
Right.
So about a year, I did that, and 2003 came along, and I'm married at this time too, and got a baby at the time. So Paige was born in 2000, so she's roughly 2 when I'm doing this. Well, I end up getting a job at UPS in 2003. So I was part-time there, working there part-time, working a full-time job in the day. So the whole wrestling thing just kind of got put to the side. I was like, I hope this will work out one day. I didn't realize it was going to be about, 15 years later before anything happened. So UPS, I owned a gym for about 7 years, a weightlifting gym, not a wrestling gym.
Okay.
But so I've been a pretty busy person. I don't know what you know about UPS, but it's a pretty time consuming job. And
you start in the warehouse, like with the packages and stuff, like from the ground?
Yeah. June 23rd, 2003. It was probably 100 degrees outside. And I showed up to work there, and I was put right into a trailer to start loading boxes. And I remember coming home that night, and I told my wife, I said, you know what? This job is not for me. He said, well, you know what? It has the potential, insurance and pay and stuff. She was like, it could probably be something good. She was, why don't you do this? Give it a couple of weeks. If you still hate it in 2 weeks, find something else. So, 19 years later, I'm still here. So I had about 3 years part-time, but then I worked a full-time job in the day. So I worked a whole lot of hours for 3 years before becoming a full-time driver. And then of course, 9, 10, 11, 12-hour days from there to now. So anyway, 2016, a guy in Potosi, Missouri ended up starting a wrestling school, and it was called Lightning Pro Wrestling. So I ended up hearing about this, and I liked their, Facebook page, and he immediately had sent me a message back and said, hey, thanks for liking the page. See a picture of you with Hulk Hogan. Are you just a fan, or are you a wrestler? And I was like, well, I, would like to, do this again. And so he invited me out. So for about 8-9 months or so, we had a thing going on out there, and it was fun. Take bumps. We had kind of like a little organization. It wasn't sanctioned or anything. It was just basically a school, but we had every, about once a month on a Sunday evening, we'd, get 60, 70 people from Potosi into this little room. We had a wrestling ring in, and we had some events and stuff, and that was fun. But that ended up, the guy that ran that kind of had other things on his mind. So that kind of
you don't say.
Yeah. So anyway, about the time I was still going there, Cape Championship Wrestling, I won a couple tickets to an event where Matt Hardy was down there. I don't know if you remembered that. That was probably in 2017, I guess. Matt Hardy was there. So I got some tickets to that, and I kind of become friends with the guys that owned CCW. And I was like, man, it'd be really cool if you guys had something going on down there, like to train people, And they said, won't you stay tuned? And I guess I did a Jerry Lynn seminar. I just signed up for it, and they accepted me, even though I basically am awful at the time. And so I did that. And then they started up a thing where we would once a month, a group of us would show up on show day and set up a ring, stay all day, take bumps, train, whatever. Then we'd help out at the show and stuff, and then tear down at the end of the night. So got do that once a month for about a year. Then they kind of started in court. I guess that was 2017. So 2018. So roughly done that about a year. They kind of, I remember my first thing was a run in with a group and got beat up. And then the next month I actually debuted at the, One Night Riot. Basically a Royal Rumble. Guys enter every now and then. So I had my first big experience with that. And then so 2018 is when I really got in with CCW. So it had been all CCW, and to this day, once a month, every month since I've started, I show up there. That's my home base. I show up, I set up the ring in the morning, stay all day. Now I am featured in matches and stuff, and I'm pretty much a staple there. So that's home base, still doing that. Love it. And now it's helped me branch out into, meeting other wrestlers and promoters and getting to do other things. And it's a lifelong dream, getting to do what I really love to do.
I love it, man. That's what it's all about. So your gimmick, Chris, is obviously very Hulk Hogan influenced, is that from childhood?
Yeah, I tell brother, it's really not a gimmick. That's me all day, every day. I mean, you see me, I walk around the house. My wife one morning, I was doing something in the kitchen. She's like, "Hey, do you remember to do something?" I said, "Yeah," and I took my vitamins and prayers too, So yeah, that's me.
all day, every day, whether you're got a mic or in the living room, it's the same.
Yeah, and it's awesome, man. I'm out there delivering at UPS, people hollering at me, "Slammer," giving me a double bicep. It rules, man.
That's awesome.
I wish you were mine, dude. Honestly, man. I wish you were mine. That'd be fucking awesome, dude.
That would be sweet.
Right.
It is. It's really cool.
Yeah. So let's talk interest music, man. Tell the peeps in Sit Down Marks Land, what does Chris Slammer what interest music does he come to the ring to, and why?
Well, the whole thing when I did start wrestling at CCW, so the whole inspired Hogan stuff, pretty much you see all my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all that stuff. You always see me talk about being the ultimate Hulkamaniac and all this. And I knew I was going to be Chris Slammer. I knew that was going to be my name. So anyway, when I debuted at CCW, what they really wanted, he's like, "Hey, do you have anything kind of early 90-ish Hogan, something you could wear?" And I was like, so I showed him the tie-dyed Hogan shirt, and he's like, "Perfect, wear that." So the first thing I started coming out to while wearing that kind of stuff was American Made, the early 90s WCW Hogan song. So that was what I first started coming out to. It kind of turned into Real American, and pretty much everywhere I come into, I do come into Real American. And last night when I debuted at American Hostile Championship Wrestling, they really needed me to be Hollywood last night. So I came to Voodoo Child.
Oh yeah.
And I like to come out to Voodoo Child up at MMWA up in St. Louis too, because for some reason they don't like Slammer up there. I don't get it, brother.
Yeah, I don't get it either. So have you ever thought about like maybe like a Clark Kent Superman situation? Instead we do like a UPS driver, Chris Slammer, you know what I mean?
I like to kind of forget about UPS once I'm gone from there, but I could see some kind of a delivery gimmick working.
Yeah, for sure. Tell me though, man, give me the number. How many times have you met Hulk Hogan?
How many times? 2 times I have met him and hung out with him at his shop down there in Clearwater.
Yeah, in Clearwater, yep.
It took a long time, man. 2014 was the first time, and it just, of course I couldn't talk. My wife was with me. She's like, "Okay, this is my husband, Chris. He's your biggest fan. He's brother, and so anyway, it was a dream come true, and
sure.
Friends with the guy that runs his shop down there and stuff, and we showed it. We have gone quite a bit since then. Now you don't run into him every single time down there, and I've never paid for like he does his signings where you can pay and show up, and you're 100% gonna see him. But in 2018, we went down there for vacation, and
walked into his shop, and Ron, the guy that runs the shop, knew who I was immediately. And he's like, about time you're back down here. We just kind of talking. He's like, hey, can you hang around for about an hour or so? And I'm like, is he coming down? He's like, yep. And about an hour later, and this was about a month before they was doing their big NWO reunion down there. So we kind of hung around for a little bit, and the girl that was working at his shop, and October is a good time to be down there because it's way less touristy down there. Not a lot of traffic down there and stuff. The girl went up and locked his front door with me and my wife in there, and Hulk comes out. He's like, Chris, brother, where have you been, bro? And we sat in there with him for about an hour, and he was signing a bunch of stuff for the upcoming NWO thing. And he even busted out a promo for the upcoming thing. And
awesome.
Yeah, it was cool just sitting there talking to him and stuff. And it was crazy. It's still crazy to my brain. So he does follow me on Twitter too.
Hey, look there.
Yeah, I'm one.
That's proof and clout right there.
Yeah, you darn right.
That's wild.
Tell me, Chris, what's your favorite Hulk Hogan match then, or even moment?
Oh, I mean, really, my favorite match. It's got to be him and The Rock at WrestleMania 18. I just love that match. I can watch that match over and over. I love I don't like that The Rock won, but I understand why. But I mean, everything about that match and the fans, and it just blows my mind every time I watch it. That's got to be my favorite match. But any Hogan match is awesome. Just thinking back to him suplexing the Big Boss Man off top of a cage, and just, gosh.
What were your real feelings when he turned heel?
I went right with it. Loved it. I loved it.
You were ready.
He turned back. I love the NWO thing. I think it was the best thing he ever did. And yeah, I love the black and white.
So you like the black and white better than the red and yellow?
I would say that does outweigh the red and yellow, but I love everything. But man, the NWO was just literally too sweet.
Oh yeah, man, I get you, brother. All right, well, outside of Hogan, man, what are give me like your next three that you love in a nutshell, real quick.
Ultimate Warrior. I don't care what people say about him. His intensity, his over the top care. Anybody that's over the top, crazy. I love it. And Macho Man, number three. Hogan, Macho Man, Warrior are my top three. Then after that, I mean, I could go all over the place after that.
Can't give me one.
I don't know that I could tell you number four right off the top of my head.
I hear you.
Well, I will say, I was always a huge Owen Hart fan. I know everybody nowadays is an Owen Hart fan, but I liked Owen Hart when liking Owen Hart really wasn't a cool thing,
Yeah.
So I got to give, and Al Snow, I always liked Al Snow, and as you say, I wear his stuff too. A big Al Snow fan, and of course my buddy Bushwhacker Luke, huge fan of him. Always loved the Bushwhackers, and I'll start rattling off every single 90s wrestler here in about a minute. So
yeah. All right, man. Like one more, let me give you one more question here and I'm gonna give you off to Primo. So, what do you think about what are you watching on TV right now, man? Is what I always like to ask. You're an AEW guy, WWE, you watching all of it, New Japan, what are you mainly focusing on?
I can tell you right now, I've never watched anything New Japan, and not that I wouldn't want to, but for some reason I don't have the cable package that carries it that we have. I am a lifelong WWF, WWE guy. I know the product's not as good as it used to be, but I will live and die with them no matter what. So that is my main thing. But I just love wrestling in general. I love AEW. I love watching that.
Yeah.
I just love wrestling, and so I'm glad there's a whole lot of wrestling out there for people to watch. And I think everybody should just like everything.
Yeah, yeah. I think you checking out NWA stuff.
I I every now and then I'll catch on something, but mainly I just watch when I have time. I always make time. Monday Night Raw is a given. I always watch. I do watch SmackDown, and I'll watch the AEW shows, but by the time I get home from work and work out and stuff, though, then I like to watch, Cardinal baseball and stuff like that too. So
Gotcha.
But I keep up. I try to keep up with everything. I like to know who's hot where and stuff like that. So, but to answer your question, I'm the WWF WWE guy.
All right. So, Chris Slammer, let's go outside the ring a little bit with some of these questions we got here that we usually ask. Let's start out with our.
There are wrong answers, Chris. Just so you know, there are wrong answers.
Let's start out with the usual: Bruce Lee or Chuck Norris.
Probably Bruce Lee.
Yeah, that's the right answer.
Bruce Lee's cool, man.
He's really cool.
Cool too, but Bruce Lee just cool.
Yeah. No, they're both awesome in their own right. But yeah, I agree. So next up, we got. Now, I don't honestly. You don't look like you eat too many of these, but pancakes or waffles.
Pancakes.
Oh,
toast. How about that? Especially from Cracker Barrel, Mama's French toast.
Oh, those are good.
Sign me up every day for that.
AJ's a big pancake.
He's
guy.
a pancake guy. Yeah.
Me and Primo waffles. Mostly everybody leans on waffles, so one for pancakes is kind of nice.
We had pancakes for supper a couple nights ago. It was great. I'll eat that every day.
You need the carbs.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I guess so. Yeah, you gotta feed them guns somehow. All right, so if somebody were to approach you right now to write a biography about you, what would the title be?
The first thing that popped in my head, just because I say it all the time, Slammer Mania running wild.
Perfect. Hey, that's perfect. Sometimes it takes people a little bit to get to answer, but I like when some people have a quick answer like that. It shows that it's been your life isn't, you thought about it once or twice.
Yeah, and it's kind of like a promo too. I really don't like to do promos and stuff like that. It's like if somebody just sticks a microphone in my face at a show, it's kind of like you're on the spot and it's a little bit easier. But if I got to think about it too much, I'm in trouble.
Now, we talked about breakfast foods. When you're going town to town, what out of the three, IHOP, Denny's, and Waffle House, we can throw Cracker Barrel in there as an honorary fourth. What's your favorite breakfast joint as you're going town to town?
Oh, I'm definitely Cracker Barrel. And I've never had a Waffle House before.
Not many people have that's been on this pod.
And I have had IHOP. I like IHOP. That's pretty good stuff.
I like IHOP as well. Cracker Barrel is probably, in my household, we go to Cracker Barrel once a month at least.
We go quite a bit.
So when you get up in the morning, what's the first drink that you grab? Do you have coffee, water, pre-workout? What do you grab? My energy drink?
No, first thing in the morning when I get up, bottle of water. I have a bottle. I got to start the day off. Get my gut good, feel good and clean. I always tell people I like my Bang Energy. I do not drink those all day long.
Right.
People see a post with a Bang Energy. Oh, you shouldn't drink those things all day. It's like, whoever said I drink these things all day? I have my bottle of water in the morning. Then I have my Bang. Then it's water. And, like this time of year, it's water and Gatorade. I've got a cooler. I'm 10 bottles of water, 4 Gatorades.
Oh, yeah.
Eat of these days.
Especially with your job. Yeah.
Yeah. You got to have water in your body. Your body's water. You got to have that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're out there working hard in the heat, so you got to be hydrated.
Oh, and I'll have a Diet Coke too. I love Diet Coke.
Oh yeah, that fizz, man. That fizz.
Ain't nothing wrong with some carbonation. Yeah,
I love some Diet Coke.
All right, so we know you're almost at coming up on this year will be 19 years in UPS, and professional wrestler as well. But if you had to choose another profession of any sort, what would you have chosen?
Besides being a wrestler working at UPS?
Yes, sir.
Oh gosh. Well, I already did the whole gym thing. Well, when I guess I would want to be a gym teacher, wrestling coach, because that's what when I originally tried going to college, I was wanting to be a gym teacher / wrestling coach.
Okay. That's cool.
Because I did wrestling in high school. I loved wrestling, and I thought, well, that'd be kind of cool to do, but I didn't like college, so I got a year of that in, and algebra said, "You're done, man."
Started mixing them letters and numbers.
I never understood what algebra had to do with teaching somebody how to bench press or give somebody a half Nelson. So somebody tell me if that does need done.
Nah, I couldn't answer that one for you. I got a 2-part question here for you. What do you have any weird food combinations, and are there any foods that you just won't eat?
I will not eat onions.
Oh man, me too.
If someone says, well, you won't even taste them if they're in there, it's like, well, why do you put them in there if you can't taste them? I don't like the looks of them. I don't like the taste of them. I don't like how they crunch.
Dude.
I'm honestly not a vegetable guy. I just don't like stuff. If I get a cheeseburger, it's bread, meat, cheese. I don't like, no stuff on it. I'm picky and very plain when it comes to eating anything.
Man, the way you described onions.
Yeah, I live on plain burgers in tin foil all day long, protein bars, protein shakes. That's pretty much what I live on.
Well, cool.
And
like there you go, kiddies. The slammer diet right there.
Yeah, pizza is cheese pizza. I don't like stuff on pizza. I don't eat bacon. I don't like anything associated with a pig. It just makes the thought of a pig or eating something off of it just makes me want to barf.
I'm kind of that way too with pizza lately. Like I'm kind of leaning more towards just cheese now, like not with all the stuff on it, like I still like it with stuff on it, but
it can be heavy sometimes with all that stuff on it.
Sure.
That's some, like I said though, you were spot on with that's how I've been with onions my whole life. And
awful.
But let's move on from that. What do you have any pet peeves that sets you off? Any kind at all? Maybe people start slurping a straw, chewing too loud, people that use speakerphone or whatever.
Oh my gosh, that's
all those.
I'm supposed to have a quick answer for that.
If you don't, it's okay.
Yeah, I don't have an answer for that. I can't think of a pet peeve.
Something some people do at the gym that annoys you.
I'm sure there's something that
people not wiping off equipment.
Oh gosh, don't even get me started on the whole. Woo!
There it is. There it is.
Yeah, I mean, when I owned my gym, I people would not put their weights back where they belong, or if they put a 5 where a 10 went, or put uneven weights together, I would immediately be out because I'm OCD. I mean, I'd immediately be out there fixing stuff. It's like, don't put 345s here and 4 on the other side. Find another one to even it out,
Yeah.
So, okay, you got me there. Thanks for bringing that up.
All right. I got one last question. I'll pass you back to DB. We're halfway through 2022 so far. What has been Chris Slammer's vibe? Like, what have you been portraying in 2022?
Like as far as wrestling goes?
Yeah, sure. In wrestling, life, anything. Like what? Yeah.
I mean, this is the amount of wrestling that I've done this year is just like blowing my mind. And I just want to have just as many matches as I possibly can. It sucks to have to turn stuff down through the week because I do get asked quite often if I could wrestle like a Thursday night or a Friday night event somewhere. And it's like, man, I can't. Sure. But yeah, the amount of wrestling and it's blowing my mind. So that's
right.
going, and I want more of it.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you answering these outside the ring questions. I'll pass you back to DB now.
Well, I hope I gave you good answers.
No, they were great, man. They were great answers.
All right, Chris, let's talk about a few more things, man, and then we're going to get to this CCW Super Show.
Yeah.
So, what are, without naming names, what are some of the bad habits that people have that you know that you're going to get into the ring with? You're kind of like, oh, shoot, I might have to deal with this tonight. You know, that kind of stuff. You know, what annoys you, like, inside the ring, I guess? Is it somebody maybe that gets gassed early, or you know, somebody maybe doesn't go by script, so to speak, or what kind of tips you off?
You know, I've been really fortunate that I've worked with a lot of pretty cool people that are just laid back and easy to work with. I can't think of really anything. It's hard to set me off. I'm pretty laid back and
gotcha. What okay, well then let's flip the script here. Let's, you know, since becoming a wrestler, since being a wrestler, you know, what's the you know, we know probably all the things that you love about it. Is there anything that, you know, other than like maybe the soreness of it, the bumps, you know, is there anything that you don't like about it at all?
Oh yeah, I mean, I pulled my hamstring really good last night, and it's been kind of rough to walk today. I've been out there stretching it and working out and riding a bike today, just trying to get the thing, just keep blood moving through it, because
you've been moving a lot during this interview.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No,
I'm not somebody that sits still for very long anyway. I'm always, you know, my job keeps me moving. I mean, I move all day, and so yeah, the little injury things, but yeah, that would be the main thing. But I try to be careful. I don't do a whole lot of stuff. I'm not going to go out there and give somebody a flying Frankensteiner off the top rope and try to kill myself. So I try to take it easy. You know, the hamstring thing, it was just, you know, I tried to stretch real good before my matches, but you know, things happen. Just got to be careful. I'll work through it and it'll be fine. And
it ain't ballet, brother.
Yeah. Nope. So real quick, you know, because your job, you're active with wrestling, you're active, but with, you know, maybe you come off a really heavy weekend of wrestling. And how do you normally, how are you on the bounce back on recovery from like soreness and stuff whenever you got to go and you deliver packages and such and still got to go and be physically at work?
I just do it. I've just got a literally a beast mode mindset and
plow through
it. When if it hurts, I'll work through it. It's fine. I can pick stuff up and keep going. So don't change anything. I'm afraid if I sat down and rested something, you know, I'm going to take the week off from this. I can't do that. I'll work through the pain.
All right, Chris. So, one more thing, man. Or actually, two here. So, you're a collar and elbow sponsored athlete, as we see on the shirt that you wear. You want to plug that, man, and let everybody know if anybody want to get something there?
Yeah, and please do. www.collarandelbowbrand.com. They got tons of cool stuff on there, and if you apply the code Chris Slammer, all capital letters, at the end, you get a 10% discount, and I get a little kickback from that. So that's pretty cool to get my PayPal once a month. So yeah, get on there, look at the stuff they have. Like they say, support your local wrestlers. As I say, support your local slammers. So get on there and buy something, and they'll appreciate it, and I'll appreciate it. So, and stuff's so I love to wear their stuff. Good quality shirts and just cool designs.
Definitely is. All right. So, Chris, you were recently at a WWE house show, live show you went to. How was it real quick, man? Was it a good show? Yeah.
Oh, it was awesome. I love to go to a house show. We had ringside seats, and I like how they do house shows now. They kind of make it a production. They got the big screen. They got, Byron Saxton was there. He was the host talking, the whole time. They had cameras rolling and stuff like that. So it's it feels like an event, but it's not Monday Night Raw. It's not a bunch of goofy little skits and stuff. You just had probably 10 good, solid wrestling matches. It's just nice to see those wrestlers actually get to go out and have a wrestling match. And it just what I love about wrestling, just some good wrestling matches.
Yeah. All right, man. Yeah, I was wanting to see how that was because I seen that you had posted that you just went to it, so I wanted to see how that was. What was the main event, by the way? What did they send you home on?
That was the Women's Raw Championship. It was Bianca Belair, Asuka, and Becky Lynch in a triple threat women's match, and it was a pretty good match.
All right. Chris, all right, one last question before we get to CCW, man. I have to ask, you got any crazy stories of delivering packages? You ever gotten like attacked by a dog or somebody try to run you off their property? You know what I mean? Like anything crazy like that?
I don't think I've ever had anybody run me off the property, but yeah, I've actually been bit twice by a dog, and it's dumb little small house dogs that got me. One got me on the leg, and of course the guy walks out and says, "Oh, he's never done that," because nobody's dog bites you.
Of course.
Yeah, tons of times I've had to run back to my truck. I've got a lot of stops where I know dogs are. I'll wait in my truck until people come get their packages, and there's a lot of people that know they're going to put their dog away because I'm there. But yeah, dogs they'll attack. They do not like that big, loud brown truck, and they do not like that brown uniform. And that's a proven thing by UPS. Dogs do not like that. And you just need to be aware of that. And speaking of dogs, probably 2008, I think, I had a little puppy go for a ride with me. I didn't know he was in my truck. He climbed up in there. I guess he smelled my food in my trash can from where I'd thrown some wrappers away.
Sure.
And I got miles away. This was out in the country. And all of a sudden I kind of felt something nudge against my leg when I was driving. There's a little puppy in my truck. So turned around, took him home. And that was big news down in Bunker, Missouri for a while. The UPS guy took a little puppy for a drive. Oh, and I seen a once. So we have that too.
You seen a what? Say it again.
A bear.
A bear.
Big black bear across the road. Now bears are pretty prevalent around. So yeah, this was like back in 2009, 2010, a bear crossed the road. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so, yeah.
Big stuff there.
Yeah. I can tell you in UPS stories. So maybe we'll have.
I'll say, I don't know if this will be as big as news as the bear, man, but this, as you said earlier, the CCW Cape Championship Wrestling Super Show is this Saturday, June 25th. Now, all the talk, all the rage is that Killer Cross is coming to town with Scarlett Bordeaux, and they are going to be tagging with the Crawleys to take on the Pinnacle with Marco Stunt. It sounds like there's going to be a big crowd expected for this one. Like you said, it's your guys' biggest show of the year. We got former Ring of Honor wrestler Cheeseburger is going to be there. He is going to be wrestling, I think, trending Trent Daniels. On the card too, so those are all big. And then Chris, let's talk about your match first, man. The Super Show Battle Royal you are going to be in, as well as Marte Marshall, Frodo the Ghost, Jake J. Walker, and then many more. Talk to me about this Battle Royal, man. It sounds like it's going to be slammer time for sure, right?
That's the main event as far as I'm concerned. If I'm there and I'm in a match, that's the main event. So I'm going to go toss all these guys over the top rope and I'm going to win it. I won 3 battle royals here in the past year. So this is going to be number 4. So I hope everybody's there with their Slammer signs, wearing their Slammer shirts, cheering me on. So Slammer Mania is going to run wild in that battle royal. So it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, man.
Available. Get them at capewrestling.com.
There you go. And I'll tell you what, man, Chris, this will be my second time coming down to CCW. I love that arena for wrestling, man. That is a cool place to have wrestling. It's an arena, you can sit up in the stadium, style seats. You can sit down on the floor. Cool place there, man.
Yeah, the AC Braze Arena. They're in Cape, right there in the middle of town. I love wrestling there. It's a great venue, lots of bleacher seats, lots of seats on the floor. Got F&M Wrestling there selling toys and stuff, and he's the one bringing in Killer Cross and Scarlet.
Yeah, shout out to F&M memorabilia for sure.
Got Leap of Faith Nutrition. They'll have some good drinks and stuff. I can't remember who the catering's going to be by there, but there's always good food and tons of stuff going on. Lots of wrestlers selling their merch. So it's a good time, man. Lots of good matches. We're the real deal down there.
Yeah, man. I had a super awesome time last time, and I just got a really cool feel about this venue there, man. It was a cool place for independent wrestling, and it's kind of a place for everybody. Not really a bad seat in the house anywhere. Yeah, great place for all the wrestlers to sell their merch. Me and AJ as well, we're going to be down there this Saturday. For now, doors are 4 o'clock. Doors are 4 o'clock. The show is at 6. Correct?
Yep, I believe that is right, because I think meet and greet and gotta give a little bit of time for that to take place. And all the wrestlers should be out and about. I will definitely be out and about. So anybody coming by, come by, get a picture, buy something.
Yeah, right.
So I'm there. Everybody be out and about. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome, man. I'm really looking forward to this weekend. This show is going to be big. So it's going to be a big time out there. So you better go grab those tickets. If by the time you hear this, you're only going to be a few days away from the show going down this Saturday at 6 o'clock, Cape Championship Wrestling in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Like you heard it with Chris right there, man. He said it's their biggest show of the year. It's their WrestleMania. It doesn't get much bigger than this. So if you're looking for a show to go to this weekend, and want to try out CCW, this is the time to do it. You know what I mean? And you get to see Killer Cross there as well, and Cheeseburger. So they've actually bringing in some really nice talent here for this big show. And if they want a slammer, they can jump in the battle royal and get tossed out like everybody else, right, Chris?
Absolutely. Nobody's safe from Slammer Mania.
That's right. All right. Well, that'll Chris, before we let you get out of here, man, I do like I said, I'm a big fan of your Instagram account. So plug that on the way out so we can get all your socials in there, man, and let everybody know how to book Chris Slammer if there's any promotions, anybody listening out there.
Yeah, Chris Slammer is my Facebook page. I have a Slammer fan page, so find me on those on Facebook. Twitter is at MaxGym, MacsGym. Follow me on Twitter. Instagram, Chris_Slammer. I think it's all lowercase letters. I think I got a TikTok page. You can watch some wrestling videos and some UPS stuff on there. Slammer Mania on that. I've also got a t-shirt store on Pro Wrestling Tees. So prowrestlingtees.com/slammer. You can get a Slammer t-shirt on there. Mouthpiece Studios, you can get my all kinds of cool Slammer merch. And also I've got a lot of upcoming wrestling coming up on July 23rd at Total Wrestling Explosion in Memphis, Tennessee. Gonna be a big event for me because with WWE Hall of Famer Bushwhacker Luke, my buddy Bushwhacker Luke, I'm going to be in Bushwhacker for a night. So that is big news for me. Got a lot of stuff coming up. So
that's going to be cool as shit to be a Bushwhacker for a night. Damn.
Yeah.
That's really cool, Chris. Hey, man, it was great to talk to you, man. Thank you so much for your time today. We're going to hook you up with some Sit Down Marks merch. And looking forward to seeing you on Saturday, man, and looking forward to the big card, man. And thank you so much again for your time, brother.
Yeah, I'll see you guys on Saturday. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you. You have a good night.
You too. Thanks, guys.
I'm looking forward to, especially after this interview, I'm looking forward to really talking to, seeing Chris again this weekend at the CCW Super Show. But it was cool to just hear some of the crazy stories being a UPS driver, you know, and you know, it's great to see that he's getting more bookings now in more and more places. And it was cool, man. And especially since I didn't know a lot about Chris going into this interview. So, you know, going away from it, I knew a ton more about him. And, you know, Dylan had talked to us about him before, and just a really cool, down-to-earth guy, man. It was cool to catch up with him.
Yeah, for sure. I thought he was a really, like, genuinely nice guy. And like you said, you know, we mentioned the whole gimmick thing, and he corrected us quickly. Ain't no gimmick, brother. He lives it.
Yep.
That's what I think one of the things that I loved about Chris so much is the fact, like, his enthusiasm is, it's not a show. Like, he's that much of not just, like, he's a part of the business, obviously, but he's also a fan of the business, and like, it comes across in his whole way of being, and it's really, really awesome.
It's also a great follow on social media.
Yes.
Definitely follow him. He plugs all that, and plus too, to hear that he still shows up, puts the ring together. You know, like he just loves it, brother. You know what I mean? Just loves it. You know what I mean? And so it was cool to catch up with him. Can't wait to see him this Saturday at CCW Super Show in Cape Girardeau. So yeah, we'll be talking to Chris again sometime soon, and I'm sure he's going to be winning that battle royal here coming up this Saturday. All right, AJ, if you're ready, man, it's time to close the show.
This is Sabotage, and you're listening to Sit Down Mark's podcast.
Wasn't expecting that for some reason. We've been doing this for many months. That still caught me off guard. Oh my God! Please listen to us right here on YouTube, or watch us on YouTube right here, starting around 7-ish every Wednesday night. Also, catch us on all the various podcast platforms, such as Spotify and Apple. You know, all the other ones as well. And leave us a 5-star review, or not, you know, just leave us some sort of review, because if you hate us, let us know, and we will try to take your criticisms into account and be better for you, the fans. Also, we have merch. Go to tpublic.com.
It's on sale right now.
Apparently, it's on sale right now. I've been so informed that it's
started on
right
Wednesday, so hopefully by this comes out, it'll still be on sale. 35% off. That's like $13 t-shirts.
You heard the man. 35% off at tpublic.com/stores/sit-down-marks for all your t-shirts, sweatshirts, baby clothes, mugs, pens,
yeah, baby clothes,
all the things.
Bibs,
buy some stuff.
Masks for winter.
That site once again is tpublic.com/stores/sit-down-marks. Also, one more thing before I stop yapping. Catch us every Friday on SportzWire Online Radio, right before the
number one.
That was a really good one. Thomas Bryce Show around 6:15 or so every Friday, and replays throughout the week.
Primo, give us that beautiful preview of next week, my dude.
All right, dude. Let's get it, dude.
Let's get it, dude. Put that on a cracker, dude.
Put that on. Dude, you must watch the same stuff. I know exactly what you're talking about, dude. That's so funny.
Dude.
Hilarious. All right, preview next week.
Fitting to learn, y'all.
That's right. Last part of the month already. So we're going to close it off by reviewing Rey Mysterio versus Juventud Guerrera, Juve Juice, baby, versus one of my favorite cruiserweights, the innovator of the Shooting Star press, Billy Kidman, from Starrcade 98. Plus, we'll break down our predictions and get ready for your WWE Money in the Bank. And to cap off the month, I'll try to persuade you to join my romantic novel book and green tea book club that meets once a month. But if that doesn't work, tune in, because making its return, Squared Circle Questions, baby. Thank you all. Let's chat about it next week. This has been your 3-time champ, Primo.
I didn't know you had a book club.
He does. A green tea book club, too.
A green tea book club.
Do you serve cucumber sandwiches at this book club?
Yes.
Yeah.
Read Sense and Sensibility and Atonement, another Victorian era novel.
It's romantic novels too, and this is right before the passion parties.
Trivia time, boys. Trivia time. Do you know why we're playing Squared Circle Questions next week?
Why are we playing Squared Circle Questions next week?
Because next week, Squared Circle Questions is 1 year old, boys. 1 year old is the anniversary. Our very first game.
I love it.
We started playing.
Squared Circle. It lasted the test of time.
It has.
What games we got on this show? We got Squared Circle Questions, Last Man Standing,
Music Class.
Yep.
Those are all. The three we got some good ones. Those are good.
Yeah.
And
we're gonna come up with some more.
Yeah. We are. And then also, I want to say one more time, thank you to Chris Slammer for being on the pod. We really do appreciate it. Thank you to CCW for having us this weekend. Boys, if y'all got anything here? All right. Happy Forbidden Door weekend, everybody. Enjoy that. We'll be back next week to talk about those results. And it's going to be a big card. I think there's going to be a lot of implications coming out of this one, man. So, I'm excited for it, man. If y'all are ready, Primo, 3-time champ is ready. Everybody have a good weekend. AJ, take us home, my brother.
Come on.
The market is expanding, boys. Not only do we have Thump loincloths, we have Thump edible loincloths.
Why is it loincloth? Edible?
Strawberry?
And cucumber melon. Because everybody wants to eat cucumbers and melon. Especially together. I wonder if anybody even listens to these. You know,
they go well with the book.
I know they do.
But do they cut it off before they get to here?
I hope.
But when they hear that you say AJ, hit them with it, then they're like, "All right, it's over."
Yeah, I
All
got
right, so episode 69. If you're still listening right now, tell first person to message us that they listened on episode 69, and you got to say Thump loincloth. And we're gonna send you a free t-shirt.
Yeah.
There you go.
Cucumber melon.
Yeah, cucumber melon's the password.